There go the Yankees. Listen to the crowd. Here's the way the Yankees line up defensively. Jimmy Spencer will be playing first base. That's Munson behind the plate. Brian Doyle, he's the second baseman. Shortstop, Bucky Dent. He's been very steady throughout this series. Third baseman, Greg Nettles, steady. More than that, sensational. Out in left field, it's Roy White. A little bit of a sun problem very early in the ballgame, maybe the first inning. There's Mickey Rivers finally getting out to his position. His leg seems to be a little bit better. He didn't have to extend himself. The right fielder has not yet come out. That will be Piniella. Here comes Lou. He wears a glove under the glove for fielding. What a big hit he got. Thurman Munson, the catcher. Thurman might have his work cut out for him today if Beatty, who's the starting pitcher, walks a few of the fast men. There's Beatty. He is very slow and deliberate in his delivery to home plate, and the Dodgers may run on him if they get out.
Beatty attended Dartmouth, playing baseball and basketball. Last game, he has not pitched since Tuesday, October 3rd, when he started the first game of the championship series at Kansas City. He won that with 7-1, pitched 5 2/3 innings, allowed 1 run, 2 hits, 5 walks, struck out 3. We're all tied up, 2 games apiece, and this Yankee story is an amazing one, beginning with being 14 and a half games back. They caught the Red Sox, they had a playoff, beat them, played Kansas City, beat them, lost the first 2 in this series, and here we are tied. I think somebody said it best, even when they're winning, they look like they're losing. They can't do anything easily this year. And now it's a 2 out of 3 series as we're tied at 2 games apiece. Beatty against Lopes. 0-1.
I think what you see already here, Joe, in the first couple of pitches, the Dodgers must know that the problem for Beatty might be control, and they're going to take a couple pitches, make sure that he gets the ball over the plate, and they want to hit strikes.
Davy Lopes, a polite single, just drops on that grass, didn't even dent it, but he's on, line driving the paper. I'm a firm believer there's no such thing as a cheap hit.
And the test may come early for Thurman Munson's arm and Beatty's move. Oddly enough, Lopes has not yet stolen a base in this World Series the first 4 ball games. But you can bet he's going to challenge Beatty's move and the Munson arm.
You can make a pool right now that he's gone. You can pick any pitch. I'll pick the second one. Beatty letting him know that he's aware of the fact that Lopes may run.
Big lead by Lopes.
Diving back. Different ways that they measure. Kenny Boyer, manager of the Cardinals, used to always like to get a lead, and if he fell down, he would reach the bag. He was a body's length and an arm away, was the way he put it. There's the ball. Now Lopes edging off. Beatty, big guy. There he goes. High, I win the pull. Why do runners like to go on the second pitch, Tony?
Well, I think part of it is Davy Lopes had never seen Beatty before. He wanted to see a couple of moves as we watch it again. There is absolutely no chance. Lopes wanted to see a few moves. The first base, see what Beatty would show him. He also wanted to see at least one pitch home, and he found out in a hurry. It's no contest.
Russell tried to bunt the ball, foul tip, 2 balls, 1 strike. Lopes likes to run off second base, and many base runners really are more effective running off second. The late and great Jackie Robinson was that way. Don't look at him once and he was gone. Tried to hit to the right side, fouls it out of play. It's 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, ball game just underway. Davy Lopes singled, stole second.
Joe and Tom, Lopes was telling me before the game today that He had stolen third base about 12 times this season, was not caught.
For some reason, pitchers just don't check his closely. There he goes. It is a foul ball. He had that one stolen, too. What is it, Tom? Is it you just don't concentrate or what?
Well, I think there's not many people that do it, Joe. Not many people can steal bases anyway, and pitchers don't think about, of course, the runner at second stealing third. And what a pitcher has to do on the mound is to vary his looks at the runner. You look at him once, you look at him twice. What a pitcher should do is vary his looks and his delivery to home plate. If he looks back the second time, sometimes you wait 3 seconds before you go home. The next time, you just a second before you go home.
Outside, but why don't they look at the guy at second as much as they do the guy at first?
It's just lack of concentration as far as I'm concerned.
I'll tell you another thing. Pitchers do not like to throw to second, because if they throw it away, you've got a runner at third base, and they just have a fear, most of them. Many times you put on a pickoff play, they ignore it.
High fly ball, short left field. Roy White battling the sun. Makes the play.
Rivers came all the way over from center field to help out in case the sun found Mickey really hustled.
One thing here that the Dodgers now have failed to do twice in a row. Yesterday, Steve Garvey was on second base with nobody out. Ron Cey had the job trying to hit the ball to the right side to get Garvey to third with 1 out so you could score him with a sacrifice fly. He failed to do it. Today, now, Lopes singles, go to steal second. He's on second base with no outs. Russell's job is to hit the ball to the right side to get Lopes to third with 1 out to score him.
There's a base hit to right field. Lopes is going to try to score. We may have a play. Safe. Go to second. Safe. 1-0. Dodgers lead.
So Lopes' stolen base pays off. You can see not only does he run fast, but look how much he cuts that base. Gomez sends him in. Munson got caught on the outside part of the line. Had he been able to get on the inside, it might have been a closer play, Joe, where he could have blocked Lopes.
I
He
agree
backed
with
off.
you. He let the runner get between him and the ball, which is dangerous. It could have hit Lopes.
I think Munson lost possession. He didn't know exactly where he was. He doesn't usually do that. He usually puts that foot, the left foot, and plants it and blocks home plate.
You know, what might have happened, Tony, is that either he lost his position or he thought they would have no play whatsoever on Lopes coming in, but the play was a lot closer possibly than Thurman thought it was going to be.
Anytime you let that runner get between you and the ball as a catcher, you're asking for it. Luckily, it didn't hit Lopes, and had he been in front, I think he might have made a little bit even closer than that, Tone. Bucky Dent has it over to first.
There's Davey, the play at home plate. Munson back. You can see the man, the next hitter, Garvey, saying, get on down, slide. There's Frank Pulley making the call. That might have been, it was a pretty good throw by Piniella, and it was not an in-between hop, so it could not have handcuffed Thurman. He was, for some reason, in foul territory.
It was behind that plate. Many times you get trapped that way, but usually you like to be in fair territory and just turn around and make your tag. Try to keep that ball between you and the outfielder. Let that runner get between. There's Davey Lopes. Side, ball 1. Dodgers 1. Yankees have yet to come to bat. We're in the top of the first. Lopes single, stole second. After Russell flied to left, Reggie Smith, whose bat yesterday gave him 3 runs, drives in a run here today, so he may be breaking loose. Reggie Jackson may be a prophet. He talked about that yesterday. There's the strike.
You just need left-handed hitting in this ballpark. It's built for left-handed hitters. The right-handers, they die out in the valley out there. There's Beatty's record, League Championship Series game against Kansas City.
1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Smith at second. Inside corner for strike 2. Ronnie doesn't believe it. The 1-2 pitch. Struck him break the ice, score a run. It's Los Angeles 1 and the Yankees coming to bat.
Our handheld camera focusing in at the first baseman for the Dodgers. Here's the defense. Steve Garvey at first. Second base, Davey Lopes. He's taking a beating down there. The Yankees have been sliding awfully hard. Lopes with his first stolen base of the series. There's Bill Russell, the Dodgers shortstop. Dusty Baker. That's Baker out in left field for the Dodgers. Rick Monday in center today. Reggie Smith, whose bat seems to be in the groove after yesterday's 3-run home run and RBI single today. He's in right field for the Dodgers. The catcher, Steve Yeager. Must be a tough pitch to catch, that knuckle curve that Bert Hooton, the pitcher's going to throw him.
Tom, the last time you talked about Bert Hooton, unless I got it wrong, you pretty much said he has trouble getting a knuckle curve over, but everybody's talking about it, and they keep looking for it, and he gets by with his fastball.
Well, I think for him to be effective, Joe, he must get his knuckle curveball over. He can throw it 2 different ways, and he gave the Yankees a lot of trouble in game number 2 of this World Series out in Los Angeles.
Was it because they were looking for it and he wasn't throwing it?
When he got behind, they hit his fastball. They got the base hit to right field, was on a fastball. Reggie Jackson drove in the 3 runs off of Hooton out there.
Rivers, as always, it seems, the first pitch, and now he's going to loosen up and talk to himself and just kind of enjoy Mickey Rivers. 1 strike. There's a base hit. Mickey Rivers is on. Much like Davey Lopes, a very polite single. He didn't really drill it, but just stroked it oh so nicely.
I asked him before the ball game about his leg. He said it's feeling pretty good, but he didn't run well down to first base at all.
I tell you though, Tony, when a base hits inside or he has to cover some ground, he really motors. If he bunts, yeah. So if I were Yeager, of course with his arm, as we look at Roy White, I wouldn't believe that Rivers' leg was hurting him as badly as it looked running down to first. Yeager setting the defense. Hooton, 6'1", 200 pounds. Born in Greenville, Texas, lives in Fullerton, California. Came over from the Cubs for Jeff Zahn and Eddie Solomon in 1975. What a deal for the Dodgers. There goes Rivers. Fouled off. I told you, you don't believe those guys. That was Decoy City.
It wasn't just a hit and run because he looked like he started right after Hooton made his first move. There goes Rivers. At first important, left foot over right, the crossover step. He was not limping at all. He went pretty well.
1 strike pitch to Roy White. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Never take anything for granted. I tell you, never believe a limping ball player. One ball, 1 strike. Nobody out. Dodgers 1. Yankees batting here in the bottom of the first. Hooton has good control. He's only averaged 2.3 base on balls per 9 innings. But 77 average. Strikeout average about 4 per game. Bunted beautifully, but it's foul. He had save back there.
Joe, the first thing that the Dodger catchers, Yeager, Grody, were the 2 that I saw in the workout before the first game here did, was they each took the ball from home plate and they rolled it down the foul line, the third and first base foul line, to see which way the ball rolled. And it seemed to stay in this ballpark.
I was going to say, because I did the same thing, and it rolls in. And Garvey was the first guy I saw do it, and that was in the workout that when we came out here, it worked out at 6 o'clock. Russell bobbles it, everybody's safe. We talked about the Dodger defense, Tony.
The Dodger infielders, and they're probably not as sure on this field as they are on their own. Obviously, that's the case, but they seem to back up on a lot of balls. This ball, Russell had to go 4 or 5 steps to his right. He got the little hop up off the heel of his glove. but it's caused quite a problem for Bert Hooton.
You know, Tony, you're right. The Dodger defense has been the suspect part of their team. Russell made 31 errors during the regular season. And that error, he got handcuffed. You got to give a little bit of the credit to the man standing on second base there, Mickey Rivers. Russell might have tried to hurry. He knows Rivers is running well, tried to hurry that throw to get it to second and took his eye off the ball.
That's the fourth error for the Dodgers. Russell has 3, Lopes has 1. The Yankees have made 2. Bucky Dent has both of them. Here is Munson. Munson 4 for 15 in this series. Tied at 2 games apiece. Game 5. Ball 1. Off day tomorrow. And then Tuesday night, Dodger Stadium.
Quite an advantage to see the pitcher the second time around. There's Reggie Jackson on deck for the Yankees. But against Tommy John yesterday, they were making him throw strikes. They'd seen him the second time this year. Same thing against Hooton today. Making him get the ball up, get that knuckle curve up in the strike zone.
Center field, deep. Mundy's got a beat on it. Rivers is tagging up. They're both going to advance. Rivers to third and White to second.
That's one of the hardest balls that Corbin has hit in this series, Joe and Tom. Very good base running by both Rivers. It was easy for him, but especially by White. Monday, the ball just kept drifting back. He never really could get in position to have the momentum going towards second base. The wind might be carrying the ball. Watch, you'll be able to see it. He's drifting back. Bumps it, it's a long way, almost 385 feet away to the fence. But by backpedaling slowly, he didn't have a chance to get the good throw in, as you see.
I don't think it would have helped him either. They're going to walk intentionally, walk Jackson intentionally, load him up with Piniella, and he'll get some reaction because he was the man of the hour. In that game yesterday, it was a high fastball off Welsh. He hit it in the right field. White scored, and the Yankees tied up the series at 2 apiece to set up Game 5.
That's pretty good respect right here. First inning of the ball game. Yeah, first base is open. That is the percentages, but you're still loading them up for a pretty good hitter. Red Adams, pitching coach.
I think you got to do that, Tony. You got to walk the man. Reggie Jackson is swinging a hot bat, has driven in a lot of runs in the World Series.
I know a lot of
had great success. You got to load him up. You got a guy that does not run well, and Lou Piniella. You got a right-handed pitcher, a right-handed hitter. You got to go for the double.
I agree with you, but it sure is showing a lot of respect
certainly.
in the first inning.
I think I went too, showing a lot of respect.
Base is loaded. 1 man out. Dodgers are leading 1-0. Piniella the batter.
One of the theories about pitching, Tony, is you pick a guy in a lineup, you go through your opposing lineup, and you pick one guy you're not going to let beat you, especially in the last 3 innings. This is one of my theories of pitching. You take one guy out of that lineup and say, I'm not going to let this man beat me in the last 3 innings. And it comes up either in the first inning when you have a chance to walk him.
Are you saying
and get rid of him? I would pitch around Jackson. He would be the guy that I would pick, yes.
Ask. No, says the first base umpire. Joe Brinkman made the call. Frank Pulley asked for some help, and it's ball 1 on Piniella. It's interesting. Some people would pick Munson.
It would depend on the pitcher. It's their own, their own judgment of who they think is going to be most difficult for them.
Foul ball. Nice play by the ball boy. Let's pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Joe Garagiola with Tony Kubek, Tom Seaver, and Kurt Gowdy. Yankee Stadium, Game 5 of the World Series. And the bases are loaded. You're looking at Reggie Jackson at first, Roy White at second, Mickey Rivers is at third. Piniella's up there with a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. 1 out. 1-0, Dodgers leading. Broken back ground ball. It's going to be close. Lopes goes to first. In time. I didn't think he'd get him, but the speed. Piniella does not run well. A broken bat ground ball, and the Dodger infield really turned it over. And so the double play, it works. And Tony, you got to admire this.
It was not hit very hard. In fact, he shattered the bat right in the hands of Piniella. But Russell gets rid of the ball very quickly on a tough play, one of the toughest for a shot. Watch Reggie Jackson. Lopes gets out of the way, and Jackson goes out to left field. Good pivot on the run by Lopes.
Jackson didn't begin his slide until after he got past the bag. So it's 1-0 at the end of one. There you see Davy Lopes next to Joe Ferguson. Tony, I just noticed something I hadn't noticed the other day. Jerry Walker is on a hotline with Bertie Tebbetts and Harry Kraft. Wonder if they got that instant scout business going. Ball one. Dusty Baker. Good fastball.
Rick Monday on deck for the Dodgers.
Outside. 2 balls and 1 strike. Dodgers lead 1-0.
Interesting story about the pitcher, Jim Beattie, the Dartmouth student. Was sent down early in the year here from the Yankees, went down to Tacoma, spent some time in the minor leagues. He's a big kid, 6'6", 210 pounds. Was having some control problems. They changed his motion, gave him a no wind-up motion. His record was only 6-9 on the year, but after they changed his motion, he got a lot of control. Control seemed to come back. He didn't get behind hitters, not as many base on balls. And he won 4 of his last 6 decisions. Clyde King worked with him quite a bit.
It was Billy Martin and Art Fowler who told Clyde King to go down and work on this delivery of Beattie's. When he did it, he pitched a no-hitter for 7 innings.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Nobody out, nobody on. Popped up. Spencer in foul territory. Makes the play. Baker is out. Fouls to Spencer.
You know, Tony, George Steinbrenner, there's two parts of this story. George Steinbrenner sent Clyde King to Tacoma to work with Beattie. Beattie was throwing sometimes 3/4, sometimes almost sidearm. And he was all over the place, in the dirt, behind hitters. You know, his control was terrible. And then when he was recalled to the New York team back here, that's when Martin sent Clyde King down there, and they developed this no wind-up delivery, which has really helped him. They say the difference between him before being sent out and now with this no wind-up delivery is like night and day.
Monday takes it inside. 2 balls and no strikes.
He's got 2 fastballs, one the riding fastball, and he'll sink a fastball as well, so he can get the ground ball, the double play.
Outside, and I'll tell you another thing he does. He did it right there, and we had a great shot of it. He hides that ball well. He almost turns his back completely to the hitter. He hides it well. Look at this. Hard to pick the ball up. Monday draws the base on balls. That's the first walk given up by Beattie. Beattie's control is usually, well, he's averaged 3.6 per 9 innings for the Yankees in '78. One game high was 6 and 7 innings against Baltimore. So that's, I'd say, average 3.6.
Both Beattie and Munson took long pauses after that last ball was called. We've got a National League umpire behind the plate, Frank Pulley, a good umpire, all the pitchers tell me. But they were surprised that he called that high pitch a ball on Monday.
So here is Lacey, the designated hitter. Made the swing, hit the bat, and it's strike 1. Dodgers jumped out to a 2-game lead on home runs. Won the first game 11-5, the second one 4-3. There you see Yeager.
Don't be surprised if Monday, who's not really a base stealer, doesn't try Beattie with a slow delivery and Thurman Munson with a sore arm. These Dodgers have got to start taking advantage of that.
I was talking to Clyde King before the game, Tony, and he said Beattie is certainly not a polished pitcher by any means. One of the things that he has to work on now and really refine is this move to first base. Does not have a good move to first base, and that big, long delivery to home.
Monday's just going to lay there and rest a while. Lopes hit 2 home runs in that first game. Ron Cey drove in all 4 runs in that second game, and the momentum seemed to be with the Dodgers. And then the Yankees came back here and they won 5-1, and of course yesterday's game 4-3 in 10 innings. High. It's kind of a series that I think the experts expected between these 2 good teams. Guidry in game 3 was not as sharp as usual. He walked 7. It looked like the Dodgers were going to win it, but Nettles won it with his glove. Great plays. Nettles was brilliant again yesterday, but it was Piniella who drove in the winning run. So it is who's got the momentum? Depends who you're rooting for, I think. There goes Monday. Here's the throw. They're going to get him. Best throw Munson's made.
Well, they were banking on Munson throwing the ball away because Monday did not have a good lead, nor did he have a good break off first base. Thurman just gets rid of the ball. He didn't get a lot on the ball, as you can see, the loop in the ball. Guys like Yeager will throw the ball at the belt buckle of the pitcher, and it will carry all the way to second base. Munson has to rely on getting rid of the ball. The tag by Doyle.
I tell you, Munson's got his way of doing it. He gets the ball there in plenty of time, which is the only thing that counts. They don't pay you for looking pretty when you throw. They pay you for getting the runners, pay you for it, and that's what Munson does. Because he caught the ball one-handed. Usually you catch two-handed. He caught one-handed, took the ball out, and then he threw a quail down there. Struck him out. Lacy, second strikeout for Beatty. So it ends up a 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom half of the second inning. It is the Los Angeles Dodgers 1, the Yankees nothing. They're starting to turn. Central Park. What a shot that is, like a postcard. Low, ball 1 to Greg Nettles. Nettles only 2 for 16. He's got about 7 RBIs with that glove. Runzie is saved. He's going to be an easy out. Davy Lopes to Garvey. Brings up Jim Spencer. Spencer is a free swinger, power hitter. Hasn't played that much. He's 1 for 5 in this series. Hit .227 on the year with 7 home runs. There's that knuckle curve right there. You saw a good picture with our center field camera on this knuckle curve we keep talking about.
Throws 2 of those, Joe. He'll throw the one that goes straight down, and he'll throw the one that goes away from the left-hander. The one that he throws that goes away from the left-hander.
Reggie Smith, the beat on it, should have no problem. 2 outs.
The one that goes away from the left-hander, he throws with 1 finger, the index finger of the right hand. The other one that goes straight down is the one I guess he's thrown from the start of his career. He throws with 2 fingers, digs his fingernails right into the ball, kind of explodes the ball out as he throws it.
There's absolutely no strain on the elbow or shoulder with that pitch. It's such a unique pitch. Nobody else in baseball that I know throws it, and he picked it up in case you missed the first time that he pitched. An article, I believe, in Sports Illustrated on Hoyt Wilhelm. He just started throwing it wrong.
Just think if he would have been throwing it right, he could probably be working somewhere 9 to 5 today.
Yeah.
Have a steady job. 1 ball, 1 strike. I saw Hoyt Wilhelm in the ballpark today, the old knuck. He even shakes hands with that knuckleball grip. What a pitcher he was. Did he go around? Yes, says Yeager. Strike, says the third base umpire, Bill Haller. So it's 1 ball and 2 strikes. Brian Doyle from one of my favorite cities, Cave City, Kentucky. Chews tobacco reminds you of the late Nellie Fox. Bouncing ball to Russell, a big hop. Should get him easily. Hot throw! Got him! That was exciting, a routine play. So it's 3 up and 3 down for the Yankees. We complete 2 innings of baseball here. Dodgers 1, Yankees nothing.
First baseman keeps his foot on the inside so he doesn't get spiked.
But he likes to pick up that extra height, and the way they got him jumping around, he can use all he can get. 4 gold gloves in a row for Garvey. He's doing a lot of things right. Yeager, outside, ball 1. I guess with talking about Garvey, the way he plays first base, and Munson's throwing, the main thing is get the job done. 1 ball, 1 strike on Yeager.
Beatty has that hard sinker. Gets you on the handle of the bat or even the good part of the bat, and it goes thunk, and it goes nowhere. A heavy ball.
2 balls, 1 strike. When you say heavy ball, I've had all kinds of people write to me different theories, and I've yet to understand it. The ball weighs the same when you put it on the scale, but not when certain people throw it. Strike on the outside corner, 2 balls, 2 strikes. I know you used to always tell me Yogi threw a rock.
Yeah, down to second base. Elliot Howard's was as light as a feather, just hung up in the air. You could pick it off.
Pitchers, I'll tell you, would wear you out with that sinker ball. 2-2 pitch to Yeager. Fly ball, right field. Piniella near the line. It's drifting. That ball. He got it. Look at that hat. He banged himself. That ball kept drifting, much like the ball on Monday.
Right, John, Joe. Ball is really blowing. The wind doesn't appear to be blowing that way, but it's swirling into the back of home plate, and he really crashes the wall. He didn't get a chance. That's a pretty good play, because when that glove hit the fence, never got jarred loose. Excellent play, Tommy.
You know, he made some great plays in last year's World Series in the outfield against the wall and left field here in Yankee Stadium. The wind definitely is a factor. The ball that Mundy went back on, that Munson had hit, definitely a factor. And here again, the wind carries this ball, almost carries it out of the stadium.
And the only way you can check the wind are the flags. And the flag, there's 3 flags in right field that are just limp.
I'll tell you, that right there, I'm not saying he didn't catch it completely, but you could have had an argument that he trapped it somewhat up against that fence. A lot of weight was showing on that webbing where it hit the fence.
Ice cream cone. Davey Lopes, who singled, stole a base, and has scored the only run of the game so far. 2 balls, no strikes. There are the flags. Now, those look like the ones in left field, but it doesn't look like the wind would be a factor looking at those flags. Bouncing ball up the middle. Davey Lopes has his second base hit. He may be off and running, and you know that Munson cataloged it on the second pitch he ran. Well, Davey has that in mind, and I wouldn't think he'd go on the second pitch this time.
He'll go whenever he gets a chance. Lopes has the best all-time stealing percentage. All time, that's quite something. 331 steals in 403 attempts. Alan Roth got his little computer out that boils down to over 8 out of every 10 attempts.
Tony, I would think that Lopes would try to steal on the first pitch only to tell Munson, okay, you got Monday, but I don't think you can get me. Game is a game of messages. He had an idea. He was ready to go, and Beatty gave him a head fake and popped his shoestrings. 1 ball, no strikes on Bill Russell.
He only got thrown out 4 times during the regular season, Lopes did. You look at Billy Russell. The thing that Beatty is doing on the mound, which he did very well against Mundy, he shortened his leg lift, his left leg lift on his delivery, made a quick delivery at home, and gave Thurman a lot of time.
And that's a problem, too, because as soon as he starts adjusting his delivery to home plate, Lopes has served the purpose he wants. Divert his attention to him, the man right there. They're the National League stolen base leaders in 78. And as soon as he looks at Lopes too long, he's really goofing up to the hitter. He's going to make a few bad pitches.
Lopes in lead, draws another throw. Usually that means fastball. Not so much that Munson will call for it. It's just a pitcher. Now Nettles is getting on him a bit.
Davey Lopes, one of the best in the business at stealing the base. Very rarely will he ever get picked off. We have a conference here.
Haller, the third base umpire. And Pulley, the home plate umpire.
And Ed Vargo at second base.
Yeah. Don't know what that was about.
Well, let him get some airtime. They need it.
The thing to watch on Beatty, if he does go home, whether he picks up that left leg and brings it all the way up in his chest or just fires it toward home plate.
He's back. 2 balls, no strikes.
You're exactly right, Tony. What's happening now is that his mind has got his mind over here on first base with Davey Lopes. Pitcher still, his primary objective has got to be the guy standing at home plate with a bat. You can't worry about him so much where you get behind the hitter.
There's the strike. Here it is. manager's delight. 2 balls and 1 strike. They love the run on this pitch.
I've got to believe, Joe, that Lopes could have stolen had he wanted to the first 3 pitches, but now he knows he's got Beatty right where he wants him. He's going.
He's leaning. He wants to go. You can see. He wants to go.
That's a great part of baseball, a great base stealer like that out there. You pitchers don't like it. That's just my opinion.
It's not so much fun when you're standing out there on that little piece of rubber and you got to worry about him.
There's Tom Lasorda. Boy, he was still upset today. And I can't say that I blame him.
He was more than upset. He was really hot this morning.
I saw that replay, and Jackson's right foot was turned over, and the momentum carried him like a dance step. Jackson pulled the play and got away with it. There goes Lopes. Base hit, left field. Kurt Gowdy's man comes through again. Russell Lopes digging hard. He's going to try to score. We may have a play.
How did Munson catch that ball?
I don't know, and he may be hurt. He stayed there. He may be hurt. He stayed there. He's hurt. He really got racked. I'm telling you, he's tough, but he stayed right there, and Davy Lopes, a good, clean, hard slide. Watch this.
Lopes is out stealing. Now he picks up the ball. White gets the ball. Now with a good throw. Bucky Dent is the relay man. He threw a good throw to home plate. I don't know how Munson held on to this ball. We'll see it again. Ball and Lopes arrive about the same time. An awfully close call.
That was a good
Another
call.
angle.
Paulie made a very good call. Lopes, of course, very good speed. And it looks like the tag went right down behind him. Doesn't look like he tagged him.
Davy Lopes, watch this throw by White. Davy Lopes, like Enos Slaughter in 1946, didn't wait for any sign. He just kept coming. Munson puts his left leg out there, and now it's open season on left legs.
The most important thing as we look at the play again, look at Munson blocking the play with that left foot. That's where he got spiked. You can see right near the Achilles tendon area on that left heel.
Tony, for the
Super base running.
For the young kids who are catching and want to be catchers, when you do that, you get exactly what you're asking for, and that's to get nailed, and he got nailed. You just cannot block that plate. Give him a piece of the plate and then make your tag.
Well, there's Lopes. The rule says you can't block the plate without the ball, but that is so bang-bang.
Russell is at second base. He had that plate blocked waiting for the ball, and Davy could have bowled him over, decided to go in head first, and Munson's going to have himself a nice sore leg.
Got to give some credit to, there's Russell at second, some credit to Preston Gomez, because the first thing he did was he wanted to know the throwing arms of the relay men. And Dent was the relay man on that play.
You go around? Yes. I tell you, Preston was going like a windmill, no doubt in his mind, but Davy would have gone through if he'd had his hands down.
Look at that shot. That's something that nobody sees in this ballpark, but you fans do. You can read the 75th anniversary seal on that ball.
You know who sees that?
Wow.
I saw the first base coach. Sees that pitcher with that ball behind him like that.
But that's why he's twirling it, so he doesn't hold it just by one seam. If he'd hold it by one seam, and first base coach Jim Lefevre take a good look at it, catalog it, and mark down the pitch, and if he did it again, he'd be calling it.
Wes Westrom used to be great at that. First base coach, when he was there with the Giants, could call that pitches from the pitcher.
Pull foul. Listen, guys, with all this is going on, how about Mr. Gowdy telling us before the series that it was going to be Russell?
Ken Clay warming up in the Yankee bullpen.
One out. Dodgers 2, Yankees nothing. Russell. Second, Smith. Drills it. Ooh, foul. Got the umpire on the foot.
Right there you saw one of the reasons, that's Marty Springstead, why the American League umpires stand, well, I guess that guy down the line doesn't stand in foul territory, though, but he got over there in a hurry so he wouldn't be hit by a fair hit ball. You got to rub it, Marty.
He's not going to rub it. Marty got hit on the bunion. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Russell took second on a play at the plate. Lopes was safe, scoring all the way from first. Reggie Smith, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Reggie's drove in the first run. Good fastball. And that's the 3rd strikeout for Beatty. Got it up.
Overpowering fastball.
Yes, he did.
He threw the ball right by Reggie. He may have been looking for a breaking ball, but I tell it with 2 strikes.
Reggie a bit disgusted he had his cuts, just didn't get the ball. So here is Steve Garvey. Garvey, 4 for 16. He has not broken loose. No home runs, hasn't driven in a run. Regular season, he had 21 home runs and 113 RBIs. Nettles knocks it down, saves the run. Garvey has a hit, but Nettles again, much like a hockey goalie, knocks it down, saves a run.
Most third basemen would not have even reacted to that ball, would have been by him. Look at how many steps he takes. 1, 2, and it is an absolute bullet. He was playing Garvey way off the line, and yet as hard as it was hit, he still could take 2 steps and knock it down. That is an amazing play to save a run. We've been saying that about him all series, though.
That adds up to about almost 10 runs that he saved here for the Yankees in this series.
He's got more saves than most relief pitchers. Here is save. High, ball 1. That's amazing, the reflexes. Russell is at third. Garvey is at first. There are 2 outs. 1 run in. We're 2-0 in the top of the third. Game 5. Travel day tomorrow, and then it's Game 6, Dodger Stadium. One ball and 1 strike. Say was out on strikes his first time up.
Many times if a pitcher does this and fixes his fingers on the ball for the pitch that he's going to throw, the first base coach can pick it up, relay it.
What was that grip?
I think he's still feeling it. That looks like a breaking ball right there.
Unless he changes it when he goes in the glove.
That's exactly right. You can find that out over a course of a couple innings. First base coach Jimmy Lefevre, if he got the routine or got the way that Beatty was holding the ball, he could relay that to the hitter.
High chopper, Greg Nettles. In time, Say is out. That ends the third inning. Dodgers score a run. So as we go into the bottom half of the third, it's the Dodgers 2, the Yankees nothing. And coming up for the Yankees, here in the bottom of the third, it'll be Bucky Dent, Mickey Rivers, and Roy. There's a great shot behind home plate. Yankee Stadium. Bottom of the third, Game 5, Bucky Dent. Makes it high, and it's ball 1. Dent 4 for 16 so far in this World Series. 2 balls and 1 strikes. Ball 3. Houghton has walked 1, but that was intentional. Reggie Jackson. Pitches, and Bucky Dent is on.
Joe, there's been quite a change in the atmosphere of this or the attitude of this Yankee ball club since they came in front of their home fans. You can almost see it. Up with the bats, they're a little more aggressive. Defensively, they're much more aggressive than they were in Los Angeles. And I think on the other hand, it's turned around. The Dodgers are weighted back defensively on some balls. I don't think they're swinging the bats quite as aggressively, partly because the left center field is taking some hits away from them.
Right now, 2-0 Dodgers leading with Mickey Rivers up there, the tying run. Dent is at first base. Nobody out. High. 5 straight bad ones. Now as a catcher, you don't know what to do except maybe just slow down the rhythm a bit.
He likes to pitch fast, too. He likes to get the ball usually and go.
There's a strike. Well, I tell you, if he throws strikes, you let him pitch in that pattern. But if he's throwing bad ones, you got to do something, and you try to slow him down and get him back in the groove.
Look, the Yankee hitter's got to have an order, I can tell, to take a strike. Rivers is unusual to have him take a pitch.
1 ball, 2 strikes. You can usually tell Mickey Rivers is batting the bat right before the game is the one that's moving. Nobody out. 2-0. Dodgers leading. A little over left field. It's going to drop. Mickey Rivers has his second base hit. He's just getting the first right now.
There's something that had to show up in scouting reports that Mickey Rivers has excellent power to left field. Carl Yastrzemski found that out late in the season. And Dusty Baker was playing him very deep in left field. This little looper sneaks in front of him. What a piece of hitting. That was a good pitch to even get the bat out.
Pretty good pitch, Tony.
Oh.
It looked like a knuckle curveball down and away. He just stuck his bat out and flipped it out to left field. Hooten has dug himself a little bit of a hole right here.
Roy White, ball one. He can handle a bat. Bucky Dent's at second. Rivers is at first. Say will have to charge in. So will Garvey.
He might be swinging. No.
1 ball, 1 strike.
You got to keep the little guys off the bases. Dan, that's a big mistake watching Dan on 4 pitches. The number 9 man in the lineup. Walk him on 4 pitches. You got to make him hit his way on the base. Mickey Rivers hit a pretty good pitch. Well, you can't do anything about that. You got to keep the little guys off because you got Munson and Nettles and everybody else coming up.
Switched off, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Sam Narron used to be in the bullpen. He'd always say, you got to keep them nits and gnats off because them lions and tigers will get you. One ball, 2 strikes, Roy White. He doesn't take his eye off that pitcher. Line drive, right field, base hit. Here comes Bent. Rivers stops at second, 2-1. Dodgers.
I'll tell you, that ball had double written all over it.
I don't believe Rivers is on second base. I can't believe that.
I
He's
can't
got to
either.
be on third. That ball's all the way down the right field corner.
I think the credit should go to the man out in right field, really. I thought Rivers was going to go, White was going to have a double. And Reggie Smith, there's Mickey down at second, White at first, but Reggie Smith went into that corner and rifled the throw into second base.
So it's 2-1 the Dodgers now as the Yankees pick up a run. There's nobody out. Munson is the batter. Base runners at first and second, and you can see the crowd reacting. Tom Lasorda. Munson flying to center field. He hit the ball hard, drifted near the wall in right center. Time being called now. Hauser wants to talk to Munson. Nothing else. This gives the other team something to think about, Tony.
Yeah, Munson hasn't been called upon to bunt too often this season, I don't think. Not at this stage of the ball game, just the 3rd inning. He hit the ball pretty well the last time up.
I tell you, when these big hitters get the bunt sign, it almost shock sets in because a lot of them don't even know how to spell it, much less bunt. It's not in their repertoire. There's a strike. There's Reggie. I've been on clubs where the guys, sluggers, didn't even bother about learning the bunt sign. Just never got it. There go the runners.
Look at this.
Everybody's safe.
That was not a steal situation. It was like a hit and run. Munson was just trying to hit the ball somewhere, stay out of a double play. Lemon started both runners. Watch the pitch, one that Yeager can hardly hold on to. Way outside. Munson still goes after it to give some protection. There's a knuckle curve. He protected those runners very well. Rivers came in standing up. He's dead if the pitch is anywhere near the strike zone.
Yeager did not do a good job of catching that ball. He caught him by surprise. Took the ball down into the dirt. Now it's 2 strikes, nobody out. There's a base hit, right center field. Rivers scores. Rounding third, White. Here's the throw. They're not going to get him. Bad throw. Munson goes to second. It's in the stands. Munson will go to third. Yankees have taken the lead.
Munson hit the knuckle curve. It would look like it was up and in. Bert Hooten threw it off. Just stood out in the pitcher's mound. He never backed up home plate. And it might have cost him at least an extra base. Munson getting to third, and now there's nobody out. So the defense continues to hurt the Dodgers as Reggie Smith's ball, his throw gets away, and there's Lasorda.
We've seen a good exhibition of bad baseball, Tony. There's no question about that. Here's Mickey Rivers.
He's playing coach. He's motioning to the base runner, Roy White, to come on.
Everybody go.
I think Lasorda, more than anything, wants his players to regroup because that's the kind of an inning you want to film and show it to the little leaguers and say, that's it, don't do it that way.
This is an exhibition of bad baseball, that's for sure. Mickey Rivers got a 2-strike hit. Roy White a 2-strike hit. 0-2 on Munson. He gets the base hit to right field, and then the overthrow. Bert Hooton not doing his job backing up. He's got to back up either third or home plate. Wherever the play is going to be, there's Roy White on his way home. And you'll see the throw way over Yeager's head. No contest.
They were not going to get White.
No way. And it's
No way.
bad baseball.
Cutoff man, if he had been there, they could have maybe gotten Munson at second.
Here is Reggie Jackson. Infield is in. Ball one. It all started with a walk to Bucky Dent. Single by Rivers. Single by White. Single by Munson. 2 balls and no strikes.
How'd you like to play in on the infield with the way this guy's swinging the bat?
Well, the last time up, they walked him intentionally because of the power, and now they have to play in. Bob Lemon, can you tell them what the score is? 3 balls, no strikes, and I'll tell you, if he gets his pitch, you're going to see a major league swing. He'll be looking for a particular pitch in a particular spot. Unbutton your shirt and have a good one, Reggie. 3 balls and 1 strike, nobody out. Munson is at third. 3 runs are in. Yankees lead 3-2.
It's a little chilly on that field, as you can see. Reggie puts his hand underneath his arm, trying to warm up the fingers. Got to be a little cool on the Dodger bench.
3 balls and 2 strikes. Munson at third. Nobody out. 3 runs in. Dodgers leading. Or Yankees leading 3-2.
There's that knuckle curve it looked like. Is that what that was? You know, he turned it over or something, but he got him on 2 of them, didn't he?
You can't really tell what the pitch is from up here, either knuckle curve or the changeup. Reggie was way out in front of it. He was fooled, obviously, as you can see, the ball going away from him at the last moment.
Right there, he is still kind of baffled by it. Brings up Lou Piniella. Piniella into a double play his first time up. Yankees with 3 runs have taken the lead. And he's hit. Munson will score 4-2.
The Dodgers are playing very badly, and I've watched the Yankees here for a couple of weeks. You see Lasorda going out to the mound. There's going to be a pitching change, and Bert Hooton's gone already. He doesn't even wait for Lasorda or Yeager to get there. The Yankees have a lot of experience in that lineup, and they're one of the most opportunistic teams that I have ever seen. In my 12 years in the major leagues as playing as a player, I've never seen a club take advantage of another club's mistakes as much as the Yankees have done in the last couple of weeks.
John, I know you heard what Yogi's comment was when asked, is this the best Yankee team? He said, I don't think so, but plays under pressure better than any team I've ever seen.
Well, we've got a break in the action here. We're going to be right back after these messages. 4 runs are in. Yankees lead 4-2. This is Nettles against Rotson. Full foul. Rotson. Second game in this series. 2/3 of an inning. Game 3 gave up 1 hit. He pitched 1 game in a 1977 series, so he's no stranger. Ed Vargo calling time, motioning to the dugout. For game 6, it'll be Hunter or Guidry against Don Sutton. The Yankees will announce their starter after today's game. 1 strike, 1 out, 4 runs in. Greg Nettles. Lopes could be 2. There's 1 out. Over to first. Double play. 4-6-3. That ends the inning, but the Yankees have a good one as they score 4 and take the lead. So at the end of 3 innings, Yankees 4, Dodgers 2. And due up, it'll be Dusty Baker, Rick Monday, and Lee Lacy. And we'll be right back after these. Yankee Stadium, it's game 5. And right now, 4-2 Yankees. Tommy John. I wonder if that's another NBC camera shooting his own scouting reports. I didn't have home movies. He and Sally can sit there all winter and look at him. There's a curveball strike. Dusty Baker. Baker fouled to the first baseman his first time up. That was the biggest inning of this series, that 4-run inning by the Yankees. Outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Beattie, Bert Hooton has been replaced. Strike. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Back to the screen. I'm looking at that Munson. I know his leg is going to be sore. His shoulder is sore. He's going to get on that plane and think he's going to be filming a segment for MASH.
For a while, they thought this spring he was going to have surgery on his knee and might miss a good part of the season. He somehow battled through it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Popped up in the infield. Everybody hollering for Nettles, the vacuum cleaner. 1 out. Tony, I wouldn't be surprised if Munson doesn't need surgery on that shoulder, though.
You ever saw it with that lump on it?
That's what I mean.
You would think so.
Here's Rick Monday. Monday walked in the second inning and was out stealing. Low, ball 1. Monday. Hopped up. Doyle taking charge. 2 outs for a guy with a sinker ball. They're popping him up.
He can ride that ball up high, too, as he just did. I believe he'd probably, grab that across the seams, the other with the seams to make it sink, that kind of movement.
That good riding fastball you hold across the seams, Tony, and that sinker you hold with the seams. He's got both of them. He's got a fastball, a little ride, a little tail, a real good, active, live fastball, and the sinker, which you want to keep down in the strike zone when you want your ground ball.
Foul tip. You know, if the guy just tuned in and never heard baseball, he'd have gone bonkers listening to that. Roll it across the seams for a little live tail and a fastball that rides and sinks when you roll it with the seams.
You understood us, didn't you?
No.
Well, if you could, the fans can.
I never have understood pitchers. Never will. 1 strike on Lee Lacy. He's out on strikes. His first time up. Now he's up to a strike 2. 2 outs and nobody on. Yankees 4, Dodgers 2. We're in the top of the 4th. This is game 5. As we look at Yeager, series tied at 2 apiece. Tuesday night, Los Angeles, way outside. And the starting pitchers, it'll be Hunter or Guidry for the Yankees. They'll announce it after the game against Don Sutton. You'll see it all right here on NBC. We'll be there. We'll be looking for you. 1-2 pitch. Out of play.
The thing that Clyde King, Tony, the thing that Clyde King was concerned about is that Beattie hasn't pitched in 11 days. That's a long layoff for a pitcher, and many times if you lay off that long, not pitching in a game, of course he's worked in the bullpen some during workouts or whatever, you lose a little sense of rhythm, a little sense of timing, and that's one of the extremely important things for a pitcher. First thing to go, too, that you begin to have trouble with if you haven't pitched in a long time is the breaking ball, oddly enough. the feel and the touch on the breaking ball seems to go.
Lee Lacy, 1 ball, 2 strikes. Down he goes. Now, if you're thrown in a bullpen, as we look at Reggie Jackson, there's Clyde King with in the middle, the horn-rimmed glasses. Dodger pitcher, former manager. You mean you have to have competition to develop that curveball? You can't keep that feel in the bullpen?
There's a lot of difference between throwing the bullpen and throwing against a hitter, Joe. That's for sure.
Struck him out. That's his second time. Lacy's gone out. It's a 4th strikeout for Beatty. He's got himself a 1-2-3 inning. So we go into the bottom half, the 4th inning, and it's the Yankees 4, the Dodgers 2. And it'll be Jim Spencer, Brian Doyle, and Bucky Dent for the Yankees.
I'll get it right out of this pitch here, and Sutton and Dusty Baker led the Dodgers. Services about 25 minutes. They got away from winners and losers shares, millions of television viewers, and thought about religion. Back to the ballgame.
Okay, Kurt.
Former writer from Detroit, Watson Spolstra, heads that program.
Big Bill Glass, John Warehouse. It's really spread. Ball players do it all season long. Spencer, a bouncing ball to Garvey. In fact, they presented Andre Thornton, Cleveland club, with the Danny Thompson Award. Saw him out talking to him in Los Angeles. 1 out. Brian Doyle.
I think it's interesting the way the 3 ball games have been turned around. The momentum gone to the Yankees, and you would think it would be the Yankee bats, but it was the glove of Nettles that really provided the momentum for the Yankees with that sensational first game here in Yankee Stadium.
I think that the guys all felt the way Guidry was pitching, they should have lost that game. Should have been beaten. Pass Garvey, base hit for Doyle. And for Doyle, that's his 2nd hit in this series.
Doyle has a twin brother, Blake. They are identical, except for one thing. Brian chooses to back on the right side, Blake on the left.
You're putting
No,
me
I'm
on.
not. I am not.
You mean that's the way the teacher could tell them?
They are identical. Well, if they went to college, you could. Of course, in elementary school, they didn't do it.
Here's Bucky Dent. Dent walked and scored. He got that 3rd inning started when the Yankees scored 4. Low, ball 1. 1 man out, 1 man on. We're in the bottom of the 4th inning. Yankees 4, Dodgers 2. Hunter or Guidry against Sutton, Game 6 in Los Angeles on Tuesday night. Pitch out.
Oh, goofed up on
And
the
Brian
side.
Doyle missed his sign, and good
Luckily.
thing for him. Now he's going to check at first base with Michael.
Oh.
He blew the sign 9 ways from the middle, and Brian Doyle is talking while Bucky Dent is really upset. Go ahead, Tony.
There's one thing I think of very quickly if I were Bob Lemon, that the Dodgers might have my steal sign. Watch this. Pitch out. Dent goes after it. He's trying to protect the runner who's not going. That's Doyle.
And look at Yeager. He's wondering what happened. We had your sign. Now he pitches out again. Nothing happens this time. Brian Doyle. I'll tell you, that's how you can mess him up. At Pittsburgh, we used to do that. Campanella had our signs, but we wouldn't run, so he was never sure. Line drive. Oh, Bill Russell. Doyle's heading for 3rd. He's gone. Here's a throw. Not in time. Dent goes to 2nd. Doyle may be hurt. Hauser's calling for Monahan.
Left knee, isn't it? His thigh. He really hit the bag hard, Joe. Coming in. Very aggressive base running by Doyle. Here he comes. The ball handcuffed. Bill Russell, the shortstop. Baker came in. He was playing deeply again. Right there. He jammed that bag. May have jammed his shoulder. I believe Gene Monahan is looking at the shoulder, but that is a pretty good piece of base running by Brian Doyle, taking advantage of the throwing arm of Baker. Baker threw it underhand and threw a sinker.
Baker was off balance in left field, Tony. I think it's continues an exhibition of bad baseball by the Dodger team. It was a tough chance for Russell. We've seen great plays made in this series, and then Baker comes in to get the ball, throws it off balance to 3rd base. And while you look at this play right here, good aggressive base running, Bucky Dent in scoring position at 2nd base. 1 out. two men in scoring position, and it's a bad play, I feel, by the left fielder, Dusty Baker. He was off balance. He should have kept the double play in order, gone to second base, to keep Dent at first.
That's the big thing. It's true he's in scoring position. As we look at Doyle, it's his shoulder. It looked like his left shoulder they were working on. But now the infield has to come in because they lost the chance for the double play with Mickey Rivers.
Have the Yankees pressure this defense?
That's what they've done. Strike one. Bronson's got to go for the strikeout. One man out. Base runners. Doyle is third. Dent is at second. 4-2. Yankees are out in front. We're in the bottom of the fourth. There you see him. Rivers is 2 for 2. He has scored a run. 2 singles. Here comes Doyle. Rounding third. They're going to hold him. And Smith gets the ball in. Mickey Rivers gets his third base hit. And these fans are going wild.
There's Doyle, progressive base runner who barreled at third. Dent only got as far as third because he had to wait to see what Doyle's going to do on third base. He held second base spot to make sure that Doyle was going. And because he did that, he did not score.
It's a further extension of the bad baseball. The play in left field off Dusty Baker. The infield's got to come way in, trying to get the runner at home. They don't have the range. They can't cut the ball off that's right in the hole, and it cost them another run, and now you got men on the corners and still just one man out.
Roy White. Garvey. Bad throw. Got his man at first. Missed the guy at the plate. Rivers heads for third. And the Dodgers are falling apart.
Well, they just can't do anything right.
Garvey removes the force right here. Then he decides he cannot get the runner at second base. Had he gotten him into a rundown at second, this run would have scored. And he knew it, so he threw home through Wiley. He'll be charged with an error as Dent scores now, goes back to retouch the home plate. Rivers goes all the way to third base.
It's an intelligent play by Garvey. He can't get the man. He's got to try and get the man at home plate. He can't get the rundown. He had trouble picking the ball up to begin with. And another wild throw by the Dodgers. Lasorda on his way to the mound. We got 2 guys working out in the Dodger bullpen. Charlie Huff is one of them. Looked like Rick Rhoden was the other one.
So while Lasorda goes out there, let me tell you. Well, we announced about Hunter or Guidry. They'll announce it after the game, the Yankees will, against Don Sutton for Game 6. If the Yankees win, I would imagine it would be Hunter. And if they lose, it would be Guidry. How do you feel?
Joe, I doubt that Guidry can come back at all, and he's even questionable for Game 7 if it goes that far, because he had a terribly sore shoulder. He was throwing sidearm the last 4 innings of that ball game, couldn't even lift his arm. The question I've got, in this ballpark, where's Doug Rao? He's a left-hander, ideal for this park. He won 15 games during the season.
There's a base hit by Munson. Munson gets his second base hit, drives in his third run. And the Yankees lead 7-2. A knuckleball by Charlie Huff. And Munson serves it to right field. Joe Garagiola here with Tony Kubek, Tom Seaver, and Kurt Gowdy. Game 5, and the Yankees, 7 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Dodgers, 2 runs, 5 hits, and 3 errors. And we're in the 4th inning with 2 men out and a base runner. Munson with Jackson batting. Knuckleball outside. Dodgers jumped out to an early lead, first inning, 1-0. It was 2-0 in the third. Yankees scored 4 in the bottom half of the third, 3 here in the fourth, still batting. 2 balls, no strikes.
You know, Tony, one thing I think that's important, you look at that scoreboard and it has the Los Angeles Dodgers errors 3, but there's a lot more errors if you can't start considering the mental aspect of the game, the way they played here today. The overthrows, the base hits with 2 strikes, all the little things.
Not backing up home plate by Hooten.
Throwing to the wrong base, throwing to third base when you're off balance in left field. Just bad baseball. The point you made about momentum going from the Dodger dugout to the Yankee dugout, I think has certainly had its effect on the Dodger team.
3 balls and 1 strike. 2 men out. Jackson, he walked in the first inning, out on strikes in the third.
think Garvey is holding Munson on with 2 outs. Don't know why, because he is giving a big hole to Reggie to shoot through. They put the shift on. Russell, for the first time I've noticed, has gone to the first base side of second.
Reggie Jackson draws the walk. Munson heads for second, and it brings up Lou Piniella. Piniella single to drive in a run in the third.
Red Adams, and there's Tommy Lasorda. Lasorda has a problem for today anyway in short relief with Welch and Forster. I've got to believe with tender arms. If they should come close again in this ball game, which is always possible, he'd have trouble in short relief.
Munson at second. Jackson is at first. 2 men out. Yankees 7. Dodgers 2. 4th inning. Strike.
This fellow at the plate right here might turn out to be the prophet. After the Yankees dropped the first 2 out in Dodger Stadium, Piniella got back to New York and got on the radio stations. He says, we're going to sweep them in Yankee Stadium. We'll come back here, win 3 in a row. Looks like his odds are pretty good right now.
1 ball, 1 strike on Lou Piniella. Dodgers had it when they came here. Jumped out to a 2-game lead, but the Yankees tied it up and leading big now. Center field. Monday should have no problem. He makes the catch. That ends the inning. But it's a good one. 3 runs for the Yankees. And as we complete 4 innings, the score, Yankees 7, Dodgers 2. And it'll be Steve Yeager, Davey Lopes, and Bill Russell for the Dodgers.
Los Angeles, of course, 3 hours earlier. Just 3:11. We'll be there for game number 6. Off day Monday, a travel day. Although the Yankees are leaving after the game, I believe the Dodgers in their private charter are leaving also. Here are some scores. NFL football. Pittsburgh 34, Cleveland 14. Most of you around the country saw that ball game.
Tony, Pittsburgh remains the only undefeated team in the AFC. Amazing. That's a good ball game. 34-14. Look at that Washington score. Philadelphia upset them 17-10. That's Washington's first loss.
It'll be Beatty with a 5-run lead as he pitches to Yeager leading off the 5th. Yankees with 2 big innings, 4 runs in the 3rd, 3 in the 4th. The Dodgers scored 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 3rd. 1 ball on Yeager. He flied to right field up against the fence. Piniella making a good catch back in the 3rd. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now it'll be Thurman Munson's job to keep or try and keep Jim Beatty in the groove with that 5-run lead. He'd like to get 6 strong innings from him. They can go to the bullpen then. 1-1 pitch. Hit to left field. White's going to have to hurry. It falls in front of him, so Yeager's on. Yeager leads off the 5th for the Dodgers. Now it's Davey Lopes. He's 2 for 2 in the ball game, 2 singles. He has stolen a base and he has scored 2 runs. Lopes, the man who inspires this Dodger offense. He did it in games 1 and 2. Tried to do it today and had a pretty good start in the 1st and 3rd, but the Yankees jumped back. 1 ball. Nettles in tight at third base in case Lopes tries to drop a bunt down. There's Gregg.
Come on, Jimmy!
Fly ball right field. Piniella drifts back to the warning track again. He's got it for the first out. So Lopes is retired. Yeager returns to first base and bring up Russell.
You know, Tony, Beatty's throwing awfully well on the pitches that the hitters are not swinging at. Thurman has to catch behind home plate. He's almost stabbing at the ball. The ball is really alive as it goes into the strike zone. And Davey Lopes, a real good fastball hitter, could not get around on Beatty's fastball there.
He can be overpowering on certain days, Munson tells me. Beatty also throws what he calls a slider, but Munson says, no, it's just a hard curve. As a changeup, he uses a pound ball. One out. Yankees lead 7-2. We're in the top of the fifth. It's Russell who has a double in this ball game.
Green Bay 45-28, and I tell you, it's surprising. Green Bay remains first place in the NFC Central. In that game, Turdell Middleton scored 4 touchdowns. 45-28, the Packers, your team, Tony, over Seattle. 45-28.
That is set to right field by Russell. Yeager will try for third. Here comes Pinella's throw. It is not in time. The ball hits him. And Nettles hustle after the ball because Russell started to go to second base.
We finally found Nettles' weakness. He can't catch the ball when it comes off the runner.
Here you see Yeager going around second on his way to third. He's going to make it easily. 1 point here about the Dodgers base running. Bill Russell stayed on first base even though that was a high throw. It looked like he might have been able to go to second. It was over the cutoff man's head, and he should have been on second base.
Russell having quite an offensive series. That's Yeager leading off third base for the Dodgers with 1 out. Reggie Smith. Russell now has 10 base hits. He leads the World Series in hits. Just got under it as he hits it high, but too short. Pinella comes in. Yeager is going to try. He's tagging up. He'll bluff it. He's not going anywhere. 2 outs.
You on what you said about Russell going to second. To this extent, when you're losing by that many runs, can you assume that the throw is going to be over the cutoff man's head? Because if you get nailed, you run yourself out of an inning.
You look like you're wrong if you do get nailed, but if the throw is high enough for you, in your judgment, do you think it's going to go over the cutoff man's head? You've got to go to second base.
Tell you what I thought was dangerous for being 5 run down was Yeager, a catcher,
exactly right.
Not even trying for third base. In fact, I got to believe that Preston Gomez was saying, go back.
So I believe
There's
that.
Yeager. But he challenged the arm of Pinella and barely got away with it. 2 outs, first and third for the Dodgers. Beatty to face Steve Garvey. This could be an important man. Garvey has not been hitting, but if he starts, look out. Could get right now these Dodgers back in the ball game. 1 strike on Steve.
If he gets a long knock here, it'll pick that ball club up, and if Beatty can get him out, make him look bad, it'll be another boost for the Yankees, who don't need too many more because they got 5 big run lead up there. 7-2's the score.
1 strike to count on Garvey with 2 out. Base runners at first and third for the Dodgers.
This is one of those situations where it doesn't look like much, but it's a tough situation for Beatty.
Munson knows it. That's why he's holding Beatty back a little bit. He wants everything to be right because this is an important hitter. 1-1. Garvey's the man, can get this ball club. The Dodgers right back in it, right here.
Baseball is really a game you never see in a game of messages. If Garvey hits the home run, he's giving him a message that we're not dead. If Beatty gets him out, he says, we're about to bury you.
A tough out, Steve Garvey, 1-1 pitch. Way outside, 2-1. Now Steve's ahead. Yeager at third. Russell at first. Spencer playing behind him with a 5-run lead. Everybody talks about his physical ability, but Garvey says his secret is his intensity, his ability to concentrate. Russell's going. Munson has no chance, and now the force out is removed at second base. With 2 outs, 5 runs down, they were giving him the stolen base, so he took it. Now it's Yeager at third, Russell at second. Removes the force, a tough play for an infielder.
They want Beatty to concentrate so much on Garvey. They said, let him take off, and he did.
Now 2 runners in scoring positions. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2, are the top of the 5th. Good pitch. Fouled off.
Tony, how do you read that? What message does that give you, Tom? How about you? You know, letting a guy run like that, you got a 5-run lead. To me, that was pretty careless.
Well, I think they got to be aggressive. I think that the momentum has switched over to the Yankees, and I think what they've got to try and tell themselves more than anybody else, that we're still alive, we're still good, but we can't sit back and hope something's happened. We got to try and make it happen. We got to be aggressive.
How about the Yankees letting them just take that base that easily?
They want Beatty to work on this hitter and forget the base runners. 2-2. He got him. Garvey goes after a bad pitch. A big pitch by Beatty to a tough RBI man, Garvey. So he strands 2. He'll go to the last of the 5th here at Yankee Stadium with a score. The Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2. It's Greg Nettles, Jim Spencer, Brian Dahl to face the third Dodger pitcher, Charlie Hough. For the Dodgers, 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors. For the Yankees, 7 runs, 9 hits, and no errors. Nettles is grounded out, and he's also hit into a double play in the third. 1 strike going after the knuckleball.
Some football scores. Atlanta over Detroit, 14-0. New England 10, Cincinnati 3. And Tampa Bay to the Giants. John McCain loses a tough one. Giants 17, Tampa Bay 14.
Another good knuckleball, 2 strikes. Nettles with just 2 base hits, 1 RBI in the series, but as we said before, it was his glove in the first game here in Yankee Stadium that might have turned the Yankees around.
The
0-2
Jets,
to Nettles. Excuse me, Joe.
the Jets over Baltimore, Tony, 33-10, a big one.
Knuckleball by Nettles, so he starts the last of the football for the Yankees. Knuckleball just hung up in his eyes. Jim Spencer now. The Yankees keep pounding away with 4 runs in the third, 3 runs in the fourth, and Nettles has started this inning off. That knuckleball is such a delicate pitch. The speed of the pitch is so important. Charlie throws it too slowly. He can't control it in the strike zone. Too fast, it has no break to it. It takes a while to get your feet on the ground. 1 ball.
It's a tough ball to throw, a tough ball to catch, a tough ball to umpire. Almost impossible to hit, I think.
1 ball. Way inside. Nice block by Yeager. 2-0.
I think Killebrew, Harmon Killebrew, had the greatest description on how to hit the knuckleball. He was putting somebody on. He said he looks for the seams and he tries to hit between the seams.
Putin was the starter for the Dodgers. Rotson was second, and now Huff. 2 balls, 1 strike. Nettles is down at first base for the Yankees. Huff grips that knuckleball. Maybe able to see him do it right here. Well, he had kept it in his glove that time. A lot of times you grip it with those 2 fingers, then put it in. Tries to decoy the base runner. Fouled off out of play. 2-2. The Dodgers came into Yankee Stadium 2 games up. They had everything the way they wanted it. Nettles' glove may have been the factor. It was a big factor to turn the Yankees around. They're now in the 3rd game in Yankee Stadium. They've swept the first 2 here, and they lead 7-2. You got to believe when this series goes back to Los Angeles, the Dodger fans in that ballpark is going to be a big lift to this Dodger ball club.
They're certainly not playing well, Tony.
No.
Their defensive play, their decisions on the field are not the way you would normally see the Dodgers play. You don't go ahead and win a National League pennant playing the way they have today, that's for sure. They're going to be very comfortable when they go back home.
Looper in the infield. Lopes looks at Nettles. He's not going to trap it. He takes it. So Spencer's out. 1 down.
This ballpark is not built for their right-handed power all the way out in left center, 430 feet. Several balls that they've hit in this ballpark, as you look at Bob Lemon, would have been home runs in Dodger Stadium. Tommy Lasorda obviously a little bit upset today. A little must be a lot upset the way his club has played.
There's the score. Final overtime. Dallas 24, St. Louis 21. Kirk Gowdy would say, sudden victory. A good term. It gets away the knuckleball from Yeager, so Nettles will go to second. Scored a pass ball. Oh, a tough one for him to handle. Gave Yeager a pass ball.
You can see his glove. He's changed gloves since Charlie Hough has come in. He starts out with the regular size glove, and he's gone to the knuckle curveball, or the knuckleball glove.
1 ball, no strikes, 1 out. Brian Dahl, the hitter, with Nettles down at second base. 7-2, the Yankees lead over the Dodgers. Foul off out of play, 1-1.
Tony, while I got a chance here with this foul ball, I think it's good news. We've got a spot here. The Amateur Sports Act calling for the restructuring of amateur sports in America passed the House at 5 o'clock this morning with a $16 million appropriation. We're looking at one of the great events of professional sports, but our amateurs need some help, and they got it in the form of that appropriation.
Could be trouble. No, Reggie Smith over. He was playing shallow for Doyle. He plays a good outfield. Not only is he throwing well, he saved a possible double earlier on Roy White. He made an excellent throw to get Blair in yesterday's ball game that helped the Dodgers stay in the ball game. Right now, he makes an excellent play. 2 outs. Bucky Dent. He has walked, scored. He has singled to short. A hard line drive that handcuffed Russell. He also scored in the 4th inning. 2 outs. Seven to 2. The Yankees over the Dodgers. We're in the last of the 5th. I'll remind you that 8 Eastern time tonight, the Bob Hope Special, 75th anniversary special. A lot of great guests. And our partner Kurt Gowdy might have Bob Hope as a special guest very shortly. 2 strikes on Dent. Huff's knuckleball is really moving, Joe. I know you've had some experiences with knuckleballers, and they were not pleasant.
Tony, I tell you, the knuckleball is the toughest thing in the world. Many descriptions. I don't know who said it. I wish I could give him credit, but I agree. It's like trying to eat soup with a fork.
Huff way ahead of Dent. No balls, 2 strikes. One and 2. Nettles at second. Dent hits it hard. Tough play. Handcuffs Russell again as he knocks it down. I'll tell you, when you start backing up on balls, you're in trouble. You always talk about the old baseball cliche, letting the ball play you, and that's just what the Dodgers have done most of the time here in Yankee Stadium.
Davey Lopes last night said that this is one of the fastest infields he's ever played on, Tony. That ball took off to Russell's right. Seemed to gain speed as it got. Watch that hop, and it goes off the heat of his glove. He saved a run by getting over there, being able to knock that ball down. And I don't think he'd have gotten Dent at first base anyway, and for sure he saved a run. Nettles at third base.
So Dent's been on all 3 times he's been to the plate. Rivers way inside. I was surprised to hear Lopes say that also, because there are many National Leaguers that I've heard say that Chavez Ravine in Dodger Stadium is faster than some of the artificial surfaces over there. So this infield's got to be very fast. It's also very bumpy in the infield. Had to be resodded. After the championship series, it was torn up pretty badly. 1 ball, no strikes, 2 outs. Lopes, he backs up, but he gets a good hop. He retires Rivers, so the Yankees go down this inning without a run. 5 are gone in Yankee Stadium. We'll go to the 6th with the Yankees leading 7-2 over the Dodgers. Due up, the Dodgers.
Chris, today, watch his special tonight, and now let's go back upstairs.
All right, thank you, Kurt and Bob, Ron Say, Dusty Baker, Rick Monday. 1 ball, 1 strike on Say. Aside from that Bob Hope special tonight, it's a big day on NBC, this World Series game. Wonderful World of Disney. Then the Bob Hope special, Lifeline, a great news show on doctors. I'll tell you about those times after this. On the East Coast, right after this game, you'll see those shows. West Coast, 7 o'clock. 2 balls, 1 strikes. No outs. The Dodgers trying to scrap from behind as they trail by 5 in the 6th. Beatty just misses outside to say 3-1. Problems that Beatty's got right now with a 5-run lead, Tommy.
Well, I don't think he has too much problem, Tony. He's got, I say that, the guy behind home plate. The little guy's all banged up and he's got hurt shoulder and hurt knee and hurt foot and everything. Thurman Munson.
Might have gone after a bad pitch. Goes to 3-2.
Beatty said before the game, he said, I'll just let Thurman take care of me.
And he does. He keeps him in the groove.
That whole Yankee pitching staff really believes in this guy. And I don't blame him. I watched him last year's World Series, this year's World Series. He is a great director behind home plate. He doesn't get enough credit. They talk about his bat, and they say he's got a bad arm. one of the things he does the best of any catcher really that I've ever seen is directing and controlling his pitcher.
3-2 to Say, way inside, so Say's on to lead off the sixth for the Dodgers. They've got to have base runners. They've had 7 hits, 3 costly errors, alongside some mental blunders. Yeager, Tommy Lasorda, Monty Basgill behind him. They want to go home to Los Angeles.
One thing that the Dodgers can't do here, Tony, that's for sure. Now, they came in here to Yankee Stadium. They were two games up, then they lost one, then they lost another, and it's even. And then they play very badly for about 4 or 5 innings. What they can't do
foul out of play
is get their head down, get their diver down, get their legs between their tails, and just wish they could go home to Dodger Stadium. They still have 4 innings to get back in this ball game, and they're a club that can score a lot of runs.
Well, they won't get down because Tommy Lasorda won't let them. You better believe that. 1 strike on Baker was Say at first, not being held by Spencer. Yankees 7, Dodgers 2. They wanted, before this game started, a good strong 5 or 6 innings for Beatty. But he is not showing any signs of tiring. Hit to left field, a little bit off the end of the bat. Roy White to the warning track. He's got it for the first out. Another one of those balls in some ballparks, you might say. It's out or up against, but not here. And the Dodgers, when we told them how this park used to be, it's now 312 down the left field line, 387 you see. That used to be, well, just to the right of that, used to be 457 feet, right where that bullpen is. In center field, dead center field, it used to be 461. I've seen Mantle hit him out of there. And in right center, 447. So if it's a pitcher's park now, it was an absolute canyon back then. Rick Monday, 1 ball.
One thing that good teams do, Tony, is, and certainly the great teams, is overcome adversity. I think the Yankees have shown that. They came back during the regular season, as we talked about. They were down in the World Series, 2 games to none. They've come back from that. I think the Dodgers have to show, and more than anybody else, they have to show themselves that they can do it. They're going to be under pressure. They're under pressure right now in the last 4 innings of this ballgame. If they lose, they're going to go home to Dodger Stadium. And they're going to need 2 games to win the World Series. They're going to have to prove to themselves, and these 4 innings could be very important psychologically for them, even if win or lose, going home to Dodger Stadium.
2 balls, 1 strike on Monday. Or the Dodgers sure have shown, the Yankees sure have shown something coming from 14 back. The playoff game that Curt Gowdy witnessed up in Boston. Another sudden victory affair up there. 2-2, 1 out. Rick Monday facing Jim Beatty. Spencer playing behind. The base runners Ron Say. And like Bob Hope, Jimmy Lefebvre, the first base coach, is a little bit cool. 7-2, the Yankees lead over the Dodgers. Beatty seems to be taking a little bit more time this inning. Good play by Spencer. He has an excellent glove. He backhands the ball. Could have been in the corner for a double. Say gets as far as second base. Nice play by Jimmy Spencer.
Monday turned on the ball. Spencer did make a fine defensive play. Takes it easy out at first base.
There's a guy that is probably a better defensive first baseman than Chris Chambliss. With Chambliss there, he's also very steady. Spencer spent most of this season as a designated hitter. Started just 4 games at first base during the regular season. Lee Lacy, the designated hitter. 1 ball. Lacy has struck out both times, once called. I thought you made a good point a little while ago about the Dodgers' ability to come back in this ballpark with the spacious left and left center field and their right-handed power. It is tough. That's why they need so desperately Reggie Smith's bat on the left side in this park. Yankees, on the other hand, as the count goes 2-0 on Lacy with 2 outs. George Steinbrenner tailored this ball club and his bench for Yankee Stadium. He's stacked with left-handed hitters. 2-0. 2-1.
You wouldn't think that 34 feet would make the difference, but in right center field it's 353 and left center 387. I'm not going down the canyon. That's ridiculous out there. But the power alleys, it's a difference of about 34 feet.
pitch by Beatty, right on the black. 2 balls, 2 strikes. He has paid some good pitches to Lacy. Lacy has pretty good bat control. He's the man who had 5 pinch hit home runs during the regular season. Looked to be made for the DH. He was 1 short of the record. Fly ball, he got it in his kitchen. Manalo waves Rivers off. So Beatty pitches out of it again. So we'll go to the last of the 6th here in Yankee Stadium. The Yankees lead 7-2 over the Dodgers. There's your line score. 2 up, Roy White, Thurman Munson, and Reggie Jackson.
What you've been doing.
Roy White, Thurman Munson, Reggie Jackson to face Huff, the 3rd Dodger pitcher. 7-2, the Yankees lead over the Dodgers. Yankees with 11 base hits, the Dodgers 7. Yankees have left 7 men on base through 5, 1 ball. Boy, Yeager is really battling that knuckleball. Steve Yeager, that protection hanging down, he and trainer Bill Bueller designed it to protect the throw. Look at that ball move. It is amazing what that thing does. Don't ask me to explain the aerodynamics of it. I've had letters from scientists why a knuckleball moves. There you see the protection again. Also the helmet that he wears in case a hitter swings with that backlash. And, of course, the number 19, as the Dodgers have dedicated this series to Jim Gilliam. Russell charges the ball over to Garvey, 1 out. Up comes Thurman Munson, and some of the people are standing. Sophisticated fans here in Yankee Stadium, some of the most sophisticated in the world. They appreciate what Munson has gone through this year, playing through the injuries. He has said many times that he is embarrassing himself with the bat, but Tom, I think you said it best. Hit deep to left field by Munson, a high knuckleball. Baker into Death Valley makes a nice running catch for the 2nd out. That ball's got to travel, what, 400 feet?
It's got to be a home run in Dodger Stadium. There's no question about that.
Home run anywhere, except here.
Except Yankee Stadium. I think the point we made about Thurman, things that don't show up in the box score, and you don't see it where it says hits and RBIs and home runs and all that stuff, is his work handling his pitchers. He's just one of those invaluable assets that might be the most valuable player on this team
Munson,
because of just the way he handles his pitching.
Pulled foul by Reggie. Munson, the team captain, first since Lou Gehrig.
Tom, I just want to add, I bet if he doesn't hit close to 300, though, he wouldn't be playing every day.
Pardon?
If he doesn't hit 300, he wouldn't be playing every day, handling pitches. Managers, for some reason, look for that guy that can sock, and that's where that added thing comes in there.
Jackson has been intentionally walked to load the bases in the 1st. He struck out in the 3rd. He walked in the 4th. 1 ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. The Yankees lead 7-2. We're in the last of the 6th. It was Huff off whom Jackson hit the monstrous home run, as you mentioned in one of the early games, Tom. He pulled it. It could be in the stands, though. It's out of play. Hit a tremendous home run off Huff. Last game of the World Series last year.
I think your pitcher and catcher working together is one of the real underrated, overlooked facets of baseball.
There's no question about that. That's the primary aspect of the game. Those 2 guys right there, the guy on the mound, Charlie Huff, the pitcher, the catcher, they've got to communicate and understand each other. And that guy right there, the catcher, has to get into 10 guys on the entire team. He's got to understand 10 different personalities.
1 ball, 2 strikes. Jackson drills it through the overshift off the glove of Steve Garvey. He had the shift on to the right side, and he still got it through. You know, you can add a little bit to that. Here's Garvey as he'll go for the backhanded play. It's hit so hard, it just almost knocks the glove off Garvey. Watch that, right off the webbing. I think you can add the middle infielders to that. The pitcher and catchers working together, but the middle infielders, because pitchers change their patterns. I wanted to get on this somehow.
I bet if I go talk to Kiner next door, he says the outfielders are
wrong.
Count.
Wrong.
We're getting back to the basic strengths of a baseball team. That pitcher and that catcher, and then you go to the infielders, the second baseman, the shortstop, and the center fielder. Good baseball teams, almost all of them, have that strength right up the middle.
And yet, surprisingly, the Dodgers are not known for strong defensive teams at second and short. 2 outs. Jackson at first. Pinella hits one deep to left center field. A long run for Baker. Once again, deep, but not deep enough in this ballpark. So, 6 are gone here in Yankee Stadium. The score stays at Yankees 7, Dodgers 2. The Dodgers trying to scrap back. Due up Yeager, the scheduled hitter, maybe a pinch hitter. Davy Lopes, then Bill Russell. And we'll be back after these messages from your...
Yankee Stadium. Background of Manhattan. Lights blinking. The house that Ruth built. Game 5. And it's the Yankees 7-2 over the Dodgers. Top of the 7th. Johnny Oates will be the pinch hitter. It's a travel day tomorrow, then Game 6 in this Dodger Stadium. These clubs have been perfect if it ends like this in their home parks. Dodgers won 2 in Dodger Stadium, and the Yankees have won 2, well on their way to winning the 3rd one here, but it's not over. Johnny Oates. It's his first appearance in the series against Jim Beattie. It's a strike. He's trying to get something started. Oates was 0 for 1 in the 1977 series. Watching him blow that bubble gum, he was a finalist in my bubble gum blowing contest.
Is Bavacqua the winner?
Bavacqua was the winner. Little things you learn by listening. 1 ball, 1 strike. 1978, Johnny Oates hit .307. He only went to bat. Davy Lopes there with that resistor. Only batted 75 times. Almost got him, Johnny Oates. A catcher.
Oates will bunt once in a while. He drag bunt, and he faked the drag bunt on that first one. I guess he didn't make a believer out of Jim Spencer. Spencer's still way back there, just a few feet in front of the outfield grass.
Outside, 3-1. Jim Beattie has been in control as we look at the defense. There is Spencer way back there. In his 22 starts for the Yankees this year, he did not pitch a complete game. His longest was 8 2/3. Oates draws a base on balls. And that is only the 3rd walk given up by Beattie. He has struck out 5. He has allowed the Dodgers 7 hits. Here is Davy Lopes. Bullpen for the Yankees starts to stir a bit. They got the big goose down there.
Gossage. Wasn't it in Pittsburgh where some fans sent him a live goose that he used to take on some plane trips?
I still think Bernie Carbo taking that stuffed monkey with him was the best. Lopes. High.
They're going to make him throw strikes here, that's for sure.
Here comes Nettles. He wants a conference.
Yep.
Stall for a little bit of time as another man gets up down in the bullpen for the Yankees.
Simple explanation. Kid, you got a 5-run lead. Make him hit the ball. Don't get him on there for the big guys who can pop one out. Lasorda hoping his club can get something going here.
Outside, 2 balls and no strikes. I tell you, on the bench, as we look at the Yankees, when you're behind like this, things like a couple base on balls, a bloop, and a long one, and we're back in it. Look at Lopes walking way out of there, hoping to distract the youngster. He was going to take it all away. Beattie did not break his concentration, got a strike.
Yankees haven't had many laughers the second half of the season.
3 balls and 1 strike. And the way Beattie's going now, he seems to be aiming the ball, Tom.
A little bit. The cold could be getting to him, Joe. It's 52 degrees now here at Yankee Stadium, and you wonder many times how a pitcher can keep warm out there. He'll wear a couple layers of clothing. That runs the count to 3-2. Beattie's got a T-shirt on, and then the sweatshirt on underneath that, and then his jersey. Once in a while on the bench, you get a little ointment and a little Alvaline cream to kind of keep the wind or the cold off.
Paul Forey walked him, and Beattie now is a bit upset. That is Bob Lemon is coming out. Fourth walk given up.
Those are those high strikes that some people say, and I think you do, Tom, that the National League does not give you. They give you the low pitch, and Beattie and Munson, Beattie especially glared in at Frank Pulley, the home plate umpire. Here's that last pitch, Tom.
You see Beatty on the 3-2 pitch to Lopes. There is some argument whether the strike zone is different between the National League and the American League. That pitch there up around the letters, definitely a ball in my league.
Ball's belled high.
No, that's above the belt. That's way up here. Way up here.
Munson caught that ball below his mask.
Tony, I disagree. That was a ball. That was
way out of the strike zone.
Okay.
If we're going to umpire from a television screen, I tell you, but Beatty worrying about Cole. He's from South Portland, Maine, and I think their summer season is a Tuesday up there. So he shouldn't be worried with the cold, but here he comes. There's another one.
You made the point the other day, Tony, about umpires are different. Some umpires, yes, some are high, some are not high ball umpires. Those umpires in the National League won't give you a strike above the belt. That's the highest you get, right there. That just at the belt, just an inch above the belt will be the high part of the strike zone.
I know.
It'll vary from umpire to umpire. You're right.
Consistency is the important thing, and Pulley is very good and very consistent.
That's out of play. Russell, he is 2 for 3, has driven in a run. 7 runs, 12 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 7 hits, 3 errors for the Dodgers. We're in the 7th inning. Nobody out. Base runners at first and second. 1-2 pitch. Foul back. Johnny Oates is on at second, and Lopes is on at first, and the on-deck hitter is Smith. Reggie Smith, that is, broke loose with a home run yesterday. He drove in the first run for the Dodgers. Couple men on. One around, says Mike Pulley. And that's the 6th strikeout for Beatty.
That was a big strikeout for him, too, Joe. First 2 men got on. Russell, a guy that does not strike out very much.
And Beatty doesn't strike out that many. He averaged 4.6 per 9 innings for the Yankees. But he did strike out 8 in 8 innings against Cleveland. And he got 8 and 8 2/3 against the Red Sox. So he has had a high of 8. He's got 6. He has walked 5. He has allowed 7 hits, but only 2 runs. And he leads 7-2. There you see the base runners. Oates at second. Lopes is at first. 1 man out.
If the Dodgers are going to get back in this game now, they're going to have to do it with pop from their big man, Reggie Smith or Steve Garvey. One of their big guys is going to have to do something here. Garvey has been very silent during this World Series. If Smith can't do it, he's got to walk up there and try and pop one for him. They got 5 runs to overcome here, and they just have 8 outs left.
Reggie, 1 for 3 today. Struck out in the 3rd, flied to right in the 5th after that RBI single in the 1st. 1 ball and 1 strike on Reggie Smith.
Here's our left-handed hitter that becomes vulnerable as we see the line score to pitching outside, because you better believe Reggie Smith's trying to pull the ball. He's going to be trying to turn those hips in a hurry.
He gets under it, and Brian Doyle at second base calls for it, and they rule infield fly. Second baseman Ned Vargo popped it up there in a hurry. He had that right hand straight in the air. So there are 2 away, and here is Steve Garvey. Garvey bounced out short to first in the 1st inning. He singled in the 3rd off Greg Nettles' glove and then struck out in the 5th. Tuesday night, Game 6 from Dodger Stadium. It'll be Hunter or Guidry for the Yankees and Don Sutton for the Dodgers. Strike 1. Oates at second base. He pinch hit for Yeager and walked. Davey Lopes walked. He's on at first.
Changing speed well on that breaking ball. The first was a hard breaking ball. That one he pulled the string out.
Garvey chased the bad ball the last time to strike out. Let's see what Beatty does. Top of the 7th, the score, Yankees 7, the Dodgers 2. And look at that bench, 7-2. Yankees lead the Dodgers in the middle of the 7th.
Last of the Yankee 7.
Okay, Kurt. Well, that's very unfortunate, losing all that.
I was coming up to the booth before the game, and they had a handcuffed man that 7 plainclothes policemen, and they caught the guy coming into the seats. Don't know if it was the guy that stole everything, but he was going to get the seats.
Davy Lopes made the catch, a line drive, and Nettles is out. A reminder here that October 20, 38 wins, knockouts. Spencer takes the strike. Most recent one, he knocked out Juan Malvarez the second round in that Ali Spinks rematch. You may have seen that one on September 15th. Fel Clemente is a native of the Philippines. He's won 4 of the 6 matches during 78. He's ranked 9th. So it'll be a good battle. Bud Collins and Sugar Ray Leonard will be there at ringside. That's October 21st, a Saturday. An NBC Sports World special. A Dodger bench. Stay tuned now. The Wonderful World of Disney will be seen over most of these stations immediately following this World Series telecast. Program will be seen in its regular time period on most Mountain and Pacific time zone stations. Banners, fans, cheering, everything. We'll have the same thing, I'm sure, when we get back to Dodger Stadium. Tuesday, knuckleball, 3-1's the count. If this game ends like this, here's a piece of, well, call it trivia, call it information. Never in this World Series history has a team won 4 in a row after losing the first 2. 3-1 pitch to Spencer. There is a base hit looping in the center field. Now, teams have lost 2 in a row, and they've won the series when they played 7 games. But never has a team lost 2 in a row and won the next 4.
Only 5 teams in baseball history lost the first 2 and came back and won the World Series. Last was Pittsburgh against Baltimore, 1971, Elm Rock.
There you see him, Catfish Hunter, Fred Stanley, Gary Thomas, and Paul Blair. Stanley loves it. He says, boy, they're looking at me in Tempe, my hometown. Brian Doyle, base hit and scored in that 4th inning. Takes it high, ball 1. Say has moved in close. We're in the bottom of the 7th, 1 man out, 1 man is on. 7-2, the Yankees lead the Dodgers. Charlie Hough, a knuckleballer, in relief. Good shot of the umpire's position. Base hit, Doyle hits another one. Spencer will stop at second. These Yankees, I'll tell you, they are really on the rampage.
These little guys at the bottom of the lineup for the Yankees have really been hot. It's a second hit for Doyle. Dent's got 2 hits already.
So Bucky Dent is the hitter, and we'll pause briefly for station identification. This is the NBC Television Network.
This is WNBC TV, New York.
Joe Garagiola here with Tony Kubek, Tom Seaver, and Kurt Gowdy. We're in the bottom of the 7th inning. Yankees are leading 7-2. They've got 14 hits, no errors. Dodgers 2-7-3, the line score. Base runners at first and second, 1 out. Bucky Dent, the batter. Knuckleball outside, ball 1. Dent walked and scored in the 3rd. Single and scored in the 4th. Single in the 5th. 14 base hits. 7 runs. Gets by Johnny Oates, and the runners advance.
Right through his legs. You know, those knuckleballs that just went straight down. Just, the bottom fell right out.
I'd like to see that one again.
Ooh.
Here it is. Watch it now. He stays with it now. He's got his, look at that. It just, at the very last minute, it dropped, and he was in front of the ball. He did everything. I tell you, when they throw knuckleballs like that, you either better have good track shoes or hope that you would, well, maybe lit about 3 candles this morning.
There's one that surprised me. It scored a wild pitch. Went through his legs. The other one, they scored a pass ball unless they changed it on Yeager, and it was about 4 feet outside.
Now the infield has to move in. Dent pulls it foul. That knuckleball really becomes a luxury with base runners at third. Tell you, there's no way a curveball. Now, if a right-hander throws you a curveball, you know it's going to break to your right. You start to shift. If it's a screwball, you go the other way. A knuckleball, you want to holler, "Hey, mama."
It's amazing that Hoyt Wilhelm, who pitched in more baseball games than any other pitcher, had such a remarkable relief record over all the years. Situations just like this. He could control what it was going to do, though, at times.
Dent had a good cut at it. I just wonder how many catches he sent home, though, talking to themselves.
Oh, boy. Gus Triandos, for one, he met more people back at the backstop than anybody else.
All you can do is what Johnny Oates is doing. Pull the mask down, bite your lip, and go get it. That is going to be out of play. The Yankees have 7 runs, 14 hits, and no errors. The Dodgers have 2 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors. And we've been talking about power throughout this series. All 14 hits by the Yankees have been singles. So it's been a spray pop gun kind of attack, but when you get 14 of them and you get them in the right spot, you can put crooked numbers on the scoreboard, and they've got 7 of them up there.
Those errors have made a couple of those doubles and triples, however, by the Dodgers.
1-2 pitch. That got Johnny Oates fouled off the foot. That's about all you need on a cold day, is to catch a knuckleball and then get hit with the foul tip on the foot. Most one-base hits in the game, one club, 15. New York National League versus New York American League, October 7th, 1921. American League, New York National League, October 6th, 1936. So we're in on something. One more single and we'll tie a record. Johnny Oates diving, falling.
Boy, he's having fun back there, isn't he?
Oh,
He says, "Do I need this?"
that's torture.
I tell you, this is like
He's run back to the screen. He's taken one off the foot or the knee. He's fallen on his face. He slipped on the turf, chasing one ball.
2-2 pitch. Struck him out. He held on to it. I tell you, this is about as much fun for a catcher as a root canal.
So I always forget the names. It was Rick Fair, who's now an executive for Detroit. He caught 4 knuckleball pitchers. Do you remember who they were?
Yeah, Roger Wolf, Dutch Leonard, Mickey Hefner, and Johnny Niggling.
It's 4 easy names to remember, isn't it?
Hey, if he's a knuckleball pitcher, I got him on my list. Here is Mickey Rivers. 7-2. Yankees are leading 2 outs. Base runners at second and third. We're in the bottom of the 7th. Rivers has had a big day. He is 3 for 4, driven in a run. He has scored 2. Pulls it foul. Tuesday night we'll be in Dodger Stadium. Spencer heading back to third. Doyle heading back to second. The pitchers, Catfish Hunter or Ron Guidry, it'll be announced after this game. The Yankees and Don Sutton for the Dodgers. Charlie Huff and Griffin. That was a great shot. You just saw it from the very minute he got that ball in the glove that he was going to grip it, and when we stayed with it, you could see him as he delivered the ball that it was going to be a knuckleball.
Joe, this game right now is not out of reach for the Dodgers. They've had a couple of threats with Smith up and Garvey. Right now, if Rivers gets a hit, gives the Yankees a 7-run lead, it might be all over that bullpen. This is a tough out for Huff. If he gets it, he may still keep his team in the game.
Oates can't find it. He boxed it up, hit him in the chest. Watch Johnny Oates on this. He's bearing down all the way, staying with it, and all you can do is smother it. I've had days like that when I wanted to get a hammer and just hit that ball.
And you know, when you go back to the bench, too, everybody gives you all the static in the world about it. You having fun? You enjoy that one? Box up another dozen.
1-2 pitch now. Missed it all the way back to the screen. Rivers will be safe. The run will score. And that is typical of what's happening to the Dodgers today. Even on a strikeout, the Yankees score a run.
That ball goes while you watch it. Moves a foot or two outside. There it goes. Starts starting. Rivers misses it by about 6 inches. But a run scores. I believe there's going to be a pinch running changer. Here it is again, Tom.
He goes out afterward. He tried to get in front of it. He just couldn't get there in time. Ball went all the way back to the screen and cost the Dodgers another run.
Wicked. The pinch runner is Paul Blair. Blair has come in to run. Wild pitch and a run scores. So here is Roy White. White was safe on air, drove in a run and scored, base hit, and was out twice. Knuckleball. Strike one. Not many times you'll see a catcher catch a ball on his knees. It will be called a strike. Doyle at third. Paul Blair's at first. 2 outs. 1 ball, 1 strike. 8-2. Johnny Oates, who hasn't caught very much as we look at Paul Blair behind the plate. He hasn't caught very much this season.
You know, Tony, you wonder, everybody in the park knows it's going to be a knuckleball. Why in the world a catcher even gives a signal in this situation?
Off the end of the bat. I tell you, it is just force of habit. I've been so frustrated back there, I've hollered to them. They know what you're going to throw, and they know I can't catch it, throw it. One ball, 2 strikes. Charlie Hough has got a good knuckleball.
There might be a couple situations where you wouldn't throw it. 3-0 or 3-2 with the bases loaded, and you might even throw it then.
There's the base hit. Another run scores. 9-2. Blair stops. Roy White gets the hit. It's the 15th single of the ball game. And that ties the record. The Dodger dugout, the Yankee dugout. It's a tough day for Tom Lasorda and his Chargers as these Yankees with 15 singles. Brian Doyle scores the run.
They certainly have been the Bronx Bombers today, 15 singles. But the little guys at the bottom of the lineup have done one heck of a job. Doyle and Dent. Those are the guys you don't expect hits from, and anytime they get them, it's almost like a luxury.
They've been on base 5 times between them.
Deep to left field, way back, Baker, way back. Can't get it. 1 run in. Roy White will score 2 runs in. Munson has a double.
He's having quite a day, Joe. And they appreciate him here. Here's Dusty. He was playing deep, but he still had a long way to go. Look at him. Just out of his reach, about a foot. 2 runs come home. Munson has his double.
Gorman hit that ball right on the screws. That's a long way out there. Kind of coasted into second. Just as he got to second, he had thoughts about going to third. He said, no, this is enough.
Jackson, Lopes has it, and that'll end the inning. But the Yankees another big inning. 4 runs here in the bottom of the 7th as we look at Dusty Baker running down the ball, hit by Munson. He just cannot get it. And so, as we complete 7 innings of baseball here, Yankees 11, Dodgers 2. Defensive changes. Paul Blair stays in the game. He'll be in center field. And Gary Thomason has replaced Roy White in left field. 11 runs, 16 hits, and no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 7 hits, and 3 errors for the Dodgers. Munson, 5 RBIs, 3 hits. He has scored a run. Tom, if you were on a ball club that was on the short end of the score like the Yankees and the way the Yankees have treated the Dodgers, what would it do to your ball club?
Well, I think the whole story for the Dodgers was shown when Davey Lopes made that last out. He picked up Jackson's ball, just kind of flipped it over to Steve Garvey, and then waved his hand in disgust. I mean, now obviously they've got to be upset. They're depressed. There's Davy Lopes. You can see him. He doesn't look too very happy. He's cold. He's losing 11-2. He wants to get out of here. He wants to go to Dodger Stadium.
I saw it happen one time. Club lost a game 16-0, 12-0 in the World Series, and they beat us in 1960, the Pittsburgh Pirates. That's what could happen. Didn't phase them a bit.
Bad hop. Base hit. Ron Cey gets a bad hop single off the glove of Nettles.
I think the amazing part about that right there was that it took such a wicked hop, and somehow Nettles still got part of his glove on it. The ball hits that edge of the grass where you get the bad hops because of the dirt buildup, and there it goes. He had to raise that glove very quickly. We'll see it from our left field camera, Tom. Watch it right on the edge of the grass. That's where the dirt builds up.
He's trying to prove to us that he's a mere mortal on that ball. Why does he pick to do that when the score's 11-2? I think he had that planned.
One strike to count on Dusty Baker, who is 0 for 3. Beatty misses. Tell you, they wanted a tough 5 or 6 innings from him, and he's got a 9-run lead, and we're in the top of the 8th inning. Nobody out, one man on. Ron Cey. Tapped foul. Tuesday night, Dodger Stadium, and they've announced Hunter R. Guidry. I've got to believe it'll be Catfish now for the Dodgers at Sutton.
I want to remind you, a big night at NBC tonight after this ball game, The Wonderful World of Disney, Bob Hope's 75th anniversary special, Lifeline, a show that I saw the first episode of. Interesting show, live, with a lot of doctors. On the East Coast right after this game, West Coast, 7 o'clock.
Fastball is high. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Ron Cey at first. That's out of play.
Tony made mention last inning about the umpire Frank Pulley behind home plate. We get a good shot on the center field camera how he positions himself behind Thurman Munson on the inside here. He gets himself between Munson and the batter, gets a good view of home plate. You're talking about high ball umpire, low ball umpire, but you said the one word that every pitcher wants most from any umpire. That word's consistency. He's not going to call the high pitch if he's not going to call the low pitch. Just do it all the time. Don't call it one time a strike, and then the next time when you need a pitch, a 3-2 count, and call it a ball. That's the biggest thing that an umpire can give to a pitcher.
It's fouled out of play. When you know a certain umpire's behind the plate, you keep that in mind and kind of work a little bit towards him.
You know what certain umpires call, Joe, if they call the high pitch or if they'll call the low pitch or if they have a wide strike zone or whatever. Every umpire is like every athlete.
How
They're
about
all a
Pulley?
little bit differently.
How about Pulley?
He's a good basic umpire. Low ball umpire will not give you the high strike and very good on the corners. I like the throw to him.
8 strikeouts for Beatty. Baker out on strikes.
He's one of the best umpires because he's consistent, and that's the one thing that I want more from any umpire is consistency. As long as they're consistent behind that plate, that's the same thing as a mark as a great ball player, is consistency.
Rick Monday. Monday walked and the second popped out and bounced out. Gets under one. Flips the bat because he knew he had a good pitch, but Piniella should make it.
Jay Johnstone, he's the man new in right field.
He snuck in on us.
They sure did. They changed Thomason and left, but Blair.
What does Bob Hope have tonight?
What does he have?
Didn't he have a show on tonight?
Tonight?
Yeah. Bob Hope was doing part of his act. He's got the special on tonight. 1-0 pitch. Bouncing ball. Bucky Dent flips to Doyle. That ends the inning. So we go into the bottom of the 8th inning. Yankees 11. Dodgers at 2. I'll tell you, the best way to sum up the feeling as Thomason comes up, you look at the Dodgers, is that and you've heard the expression many times, the Yankees are laughing and telling jokes, and the Dodgers are saying, deal the cards. It's going to be a tough ride home for the Dodgers, and they're going to have to do something to pick themselves up. I don't know what. Tony or Tom, do you have a suggestion?
I think all you got to do is look back just a few days to tell you what could happen. We're not saying it will. When the Dodgers came to Yankee Stadium, the Yankees were obviously in real big trouble, down 2 ball games. The Dodgers know this. The momentum is reversed, but that momentum can be overworked in any sport. It can shift in a hurry, and going home might be the thing for the Dodgers. That's the tonic they need.
That's exactly right. I mean, the biggest thing that they can do is go in there after the game, shower and shave, and get warm, go to the airport and get on their airplane and go to Los Angeles. Get out of here. This is bad memory spot for them, Yankee Stadium. They've got to get out of here.
But how about the Yankees? They're about 9 feet off the ground. They were 2 down coming in here, and they swept them, and they're putting a crusher to them.
And they got an off day in between here too, and that's going to help the Dodgers. The off day between this game and the game out in Los Angeles on Tuesday is going to help the Dodgers.
Thomason is out on strikes. He was batting in Pinella's spot.
I think the big thing is that both of these clubs played 162 games regular season. They know how good they are. The Yankees had to go to the playoff. Then they went to the championship series. Both clubs played 4 games. So one little short series of 3 games is not going to hurt either club.
Here is Nettles. You know, the same questions that they asked the Yankees will be asked the Dodgers after that first game. You know, 11-5 thing, all those questions.
Come back?
Can you come back? You remember all that garbage?
Yeah, I asked that question. I was one of the guys that asked it. Thanks a lot, pal.
I mean, those brilliant questions that were asked. 1 ball, 1 strike. I got to tell you about a question I heard asked that I thought was ridiculous. Knuckleball gets away. Young Welch, after the game, the way he's been pitching, and Piniella got the hit. One of the writers asked him, how does it feel to go from hero to GOAT so fast? You imagine that?
I imagine it. I've gotten that a few times in my career.
Write this
It
down.
makes you want to jump up and pop a writer right in the nose. Or a TV guy, like the guy sitting on my right here.
That's right.
Three balls, 1 strike. 1 out, nobody on. Pulled foul.
Before the game, I went by George Steinbrenner's office, talked to him, chatted with him for a minute, and he's very proud, obviously, of his Yankees. The thing he talked about most is that how his club has come back all season long, and they've come back in this World Series. And he says, you know, we've done it without the running game. Did it without Willie Randolph in this World Series and Mickey Rivers hurt. Greg Nettles strikes out on another knuckleball. Between them, Randolph and Rivers stole 61 bases during the regular season. And he's done it without 2 of the pitchers that he counted on. Don Gullett and Andy Messersmith. They're not here. They're on disabled list.
Fan has a Greg Nettles glove, a model of Greg Nettles' glove down there. Look at the size of that thing.
That's how it looks to Davy Lopes. He's been hitting some shots down there.
Spencer takes it low, ball 1. 11 runs, 16 hits and no errors for the Yankees. 2 runs, 8 hits and 3 errors for the Dodgers. 2 outs and nobody on. Yankee fans are having a field day. But as Dick Motta said, it ain't over till the fat lady sings. 1 ball, 1 strike. Game 6 will be a big one. You're going to be with us. It'll be Hunter and Guidry for the Yankees, Don Sutton for the Dodgers. That's Tuesday night, 8 o'clock Eastern time. There'll be a little bit of revenge in their hearts, the Dodgers, for this beating. You can bet on that, just like the Yankees came back with a vengeance after losing 11-5. Final score, Miami over San Diego, 28-21. 34-17, Rams over Minnesota. Knuckleball, ball 3. Oakland 28 and Kansas City 6. 14-7 New Orleans over the 49ers.
49ers have their problems, aren't they?
Spencer draws the base on balls.
Tom, you were talking about that Yankee running game. Near the end of the season, it was one of the most important things they had going for them in the pennant stretch to catch the Red Sox. And I've forgotten the precise figures, but they had stolen something like 35 out of 50.
Had himself a fine day. He's 2 for 4, 2 base hits. He has scored 2 runs. He has singled to right, twice, in the 4th and in the 7th. Pulls one down the line. It is a foul ball. Is it a foul ball or what? They just put their hands up. Yes, it is.
Yeah, the right field foul line umpire, Marty Springstead, gave the call. He threw his hands up, and then he flipped into the direction of foul territory. That little corner right there, there's Marty Springstead. That corner down there is kind of a nice little place. It used to be 296 before they refurbished this. It's now 310, as you see. And could Yogi wrap around that pole, Joe?
Oh, could he
was
ever?
Amazing. He could take a pitch a foot outside and reach out with those strong hands, whip it around the pole.
He loved to hit down that line. Knuckleball, 2 strikes. There's my man, and for the first time this series, he's not on the phone.
He had Nettles in the players' room before the game, or not Nettles, or Cliff Johnson had him pinned. They call him strong hands.
Oh, he does have strong hands.
That bocce ball will do it for you.
Right field, it is a base hit. Doyle has another one. He's 3 base hits this afternoon. Another single. Doyle 3 for 5. He said he's a contact hitter. He has been making contact.
He keeps that up, they're going to make him the hitting instructor. His brother Blake and older brother Denny, like that baseball school they got in Winter Haven.
That says it all. The Dodger bench.
Gloomy, sad set of kids on there, I'll tell you that. Set of players and some of the kids of the Dodgers players on the bench with them.
Knuckleball way outside. Oates boxes it. 17 hits, 11 runs, 17 hits and no errors, 2 runs, 8 hits and 3 errors for the Dodgers. We're in the bottom of the 8th. There are 2 outs. Base runners at 1st and 2nd. Spencer's at 2nd and Doyle is at 1st. One ball, 1 strike. I tell you, some of the plays we've seen, it's almost like the wonderful world of Disney was on.
Tom, I'm going to ask you something. I don't know what it is. Let's see this pitch, see if we have time for your answer. Why? And I don't know. Maybe you know something I don't. Doug Rau, the left-hander, won 15 ball games for this ball club. Yankee Stadium, with the Yankee hitters in the lineup, 4 left-handers. But why has he not pitched? At least seen some of these Yankee hitters. He could be very effective against them. It's been a surprise to me.
Out of play. There he is in the bullpen. Doug Rau loosening up.
He had a good year. Sure. He was 15-9, as you said, a 3.2 ERA. Why we haven't seen him, I don't know. There's nothing wrong with him. I checked with the trainer before the start of the World Series, and the Dodgers are all healthy. They really have no health problems, other than Reggie Smith slightly, maybe a little bit of bronchitis or whatever.
2-2 pitch, foul back. Count remains the same.
But you would have thought, I think you're exactly right, that especially in this ballpark with the left field fence and the left field hitters, that you would have seen Doug Rau. I thought you would have seen him earlier today when Bert Hooton left the game.
Yeah, and of course he pitched a game against the Philadelphia Phillies in the championship series. Did fairly well after he struggled right at the start. So he just taken out of the rotation. I guess they wanted to, well, they're going with what they got.
Another base hit. 1 run is in. Spencer scores. Doyle heads for 3rd. Then heads for 2nd. He's safe. Double.
Well, we talked about him already several times today. The little guys at the bottom of the lineup have really been amazing.
Doyle and Dent have been on base 7 times in this ball game. They have scored 4-5 runs between them.
Now watch this, Tony. Watch this play at 2nd and a tag by Davy Lopes. Now he just doesn't turn around patty cake him. He pops in pretty good. He's not very happy out there. If you can't beat him one way, I'll give him a good slap anyway.
All Blair, strike 1. Seems like Lasorda has asked Charlie Huff to just stand out there, Charlie. Do the best you can. Save some pitches for me. Two strikes. We're in the bottom of the 8th. 12 runs, 18 hits, no errors for the Yankees. 2-8-3 for the Dodgers. Blair is out on strikes. Oates will have to throw to Garvey. He does. And that ends the inning. Huff ended up striking out the side, but not before the Yankees scored another one. So at the end of 8, Yankees 12, Dodgers 2. 12-2, Yankees lead the Dodgers. We're in the 9th inning. The executive producer of NBC Sports is Don Ohlmeyer. And today's World Series telecast was produced by Michael Weissman, directed by Harry Coyle. The pregame show was produced by David Stern, directed by Ken Fouts. Technical director Horace Ruiz, associate producer Kenneth Edmondson, and our associate directors Richard Klein and Bob Levy. Beatty, who was asked to give him 5 or 6 strong innings, is going into the 9th. There's a strike. Johnny Oates. Beatty, who did not have a complete game in 1978, well on his way to having his first one here in Game 5 of the World Series. Game 6, Tuesday night. You'll see it here, 8 o'clock Eastern Time. Johnny Oates sends one back up the middle. He's on with a single.
Dodgers would like to throw a little bitty scare as we watch this line drive. Almost takes the foot off of Beatty, but a little rally right here might be a little more comfortable for them as they go home to Dodger Stadium for that plane ride. Shake the Yankees up just a little bit, showing that they haven't died, and got a good start at it with Oates on first.
Ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes. There's Catfish Hunter.
Positions his feet. One little crow hop. Doyle gets creamed by Oates at second base. He got out of the way there pretty well. But they get Lopes. Here it is again. I thought Doyle got hit, but as I looked at the replay now, he gets out of the way very nicely. That's the way they teach the infield. Throw and jump at the same time and relax and come right down on that runner. And if you can't, give him an elbow for the next time.
That was a good play by Doyle to take it back. Look at that. Nice little soft little jump over, fall down. You've got a select few jerks, what you got. Monday, Dusty. They'll be back. They go to Los Angeles, off day, then the ball game Tuesday. They were up 2. They were swept 3 here, but they're going home.
So the final score, Yankees 12, Dodgers 2. For Tony Kupek, Tom Seaburn, Kurt Gowdy, this is Joe Garagiola saying so long from Yankee Stadium.